Hello everyone, and we are live and welcome to first live stream of the year where I'm going to be talking about top 10 favourite hip hop artists of all time. And today I'm going to be joined by my good friend Bumper,
West Coast.
Right, everyone.
indeed, and my good friend Carlos. He's for the Fly fan joining us today as well.
Glad to be here. I think it's a great topic, and we've got three different sort of ages, and I think this is going to mix well. Scotty, you're in your 20s.
Yep.
Bumper in his 40s, and I'm in my early 50s. So a good mixture of opinions. So it'll be a fun thing to do. Let's go.
Yeah, definitely. Really looking forward to this. And before we get into this and all that good stuff, obviously we'd like to put out there this is obviously just our personal list. Of course, this isn't a right or wrong list for anyone. It's just our personal favourites and our personal taste. So yeah, just wanted to quickly get that out of the way, of course. But before we get into this, Bumper, what got you into hip hop, and when did you start listening to hip hop and all that good stuff?
So, like Carlos said, I'm in my 40s, so I'm 44. So, I think I was probably about 13, maybe just a little bit earlier. My brother used to have a cassette single, NWA, and it was a song called Gangster Gangster. And it was like just a single, just that song, and maybe another song on the B side, some rubbish song. And I just remember, like, one time being told I shouldn't listen to it. You know what it's like then.
Yeah.
Like, put it on and thinking, oh yeah, this is good. And obviously there was swearing in it, wasn't it? And I was a kid, so with the swearing, and it was slightly relatable because although they talk about things you can relate to, like gangbanging, they do talk about, like, getting into trouble in school and things like that. And so it's highly relatable for me. It was growing up, and from hearing that NWA thing, then I didn't really go mad for NWA. Then I kind of fell into listening to Cypress Hill, and it just spiraled from there, really, listening to Cypress Hill, watching MTV Raps, picking up on new artists. This is in like 1993, maybe, the first Cypress Hill album. I don't go much before 93. Obviously, rap started sometime in the 80s, but, there's artists like LL Cool J who were dropping albums in the late 80s, early 90s. I wasn't quite then, I've got to be honest. I was more from about 1993. But I've gone back and listened to albums from before now, the same as you do with movies, as you get into something even more. But yeah, growing up, like, it was all over MTV. Like, Snoop Dogg was dropping his first album in like 94.
Yeah.
90 to me, 93 to like 1996, it just took over my life. I wore all the hip hop clothes, the FUBU and all. They used to call me like a wigger and all this caper. Like, I used to have the cassettes, bumping it, the headphones. My parents didn't care that they had swearing in it. You know what I mean? Like, I'd have it on in the car and stuff. So yeah, so really just from finding a cassette single, listening to that, and then just boom, really from there. I used to hate when my mates used to listen to other music. Like, when I was older, like 19, and you go out in the cars and they'd have house on. I used to, like, the driver, I used to say to him, I'll buy you a kebab. We'd go to get a kebab or whatever. I'll buy you a kebab if I could put my hip hop mixtape on instead of this house shit. Like, and sometimes he'd let me, sometimes he wouldn't, because they were all into the house and all, like, but no, rap is the only genre of music I've ever liked, honestly. I listen to some other stuff, new metal, like Marilyn Manson and Korn, but that's got a bit of hip hop crossover anyway, But
yeah,
it's always been my music, mate. Always.
Awesome. That's a great little story of how you got into hip hop, Bumper. Really enjoyed into that.
Nicely put.
Definitely.
For me, obviously more kind of mid 80s. I kind of heard of it, and I'd heard a couple of sort of singles. A couple of my older mates, they had a couple of electro albums. I think it was Electro 6. And somebody was playing it in the car, and I thought, what the hell's this? And it was like a Roxanne Shante. There was like this rapping beef between female MCs, between the real Roxanne and Roxanne Shante. So I was kind of listening to those electro albums. You could get them on vinyl, and Grandmaster Flash, Furious 5. These albums would be in record shops like our price, and they would come in as imports, and they were like $9.99, and they were quite expensive. So that was kind of my introduction into hip hop. And my first listening to hip hop on a radio station was Capital FM. It was a guy by the name of Mike Allen, And this is not Capital FM now, because Capital FM, it was kind of more of a pirate radio station. You'd had to have your radio in your bedroom high up, because if you had the radio downstairs, you'd get real bad interference. You'd only just walk past the radio and you would get the hissing sound. That was on Fridays and Saturday nights where they used to play hip hop. And at that time, you had groups like Public Enemy, LL Cool J, Eric B. and Rakim. They were just coming in. So then I started buying Run DMC albums, kind of like that late, sort of 87, 88. So they were kind of like the first albums that I was buying. And then I kind of grew into the 90s, kind of more, kind of early 2000s. Not so much in the last 10 years. I still do listen to it. Obviously, hip hop has completely changed now.
Yeah,
With
sure.
auto tune, rap, and it's just a different style. I mean, I listen to some of the newer artists, but it's just a kind of different way that they express themselves in the style that they're rapping. Obviously, the beats and the scratches, which is what they had. Samples that they used to use in the 80s and 90s. I kind of miss that boom bap sort of sound. That's kind of missing. So I try not to diss some of the modern day artists. It's just a different wave of music. So that's, I still listen to hip hop now. I mean, I rate some of the new guys like Joey Badass, Papoose, Kendrick Lamar, but that sort of style of hip hop is not the style that I grew up with. And it's not like the original format of the way of rapping, in my opinion. But each to their own.
Yep, definitely 100% agree with that, Carlos. And really enjoyed it, listening to how you got into hip hop and all that good stuff.
How did you get into it, Scott?
Well, the first hip hop song I remember hearing when I was very young, possibly about 3 or 4 years old. I remember the music video very well, as well, was Bone Thugs and Harmony, The Crossroads. That was what first got me into hip hop, yeah. Love that song. It's one of my favourite songs ever. So that was my introduction to it, basically, and then sort of got into other artists like Tupac and Biggie Smalls in my sort of like when I was about 5 or 6 years old. Biggie Smalls maybe a little bit later on, but those were the first artists I sort of really got into when I first started listening to hip hop. Obviously, seeing music videos for classic songs like California Love with Dr. Dre and Tupac, which I always enjoyed seeing that video on the music channels when I was younger. And then a bit later on, I got introduced to like Wu-Tang Clan and saw music videos as them as well. And when I was maybe about 12, 13, I really started collecting like hip hop CDs and discovering other artists. Obviously, I was aware of like 50 Cent, but yeah, I wasn't a massive fan of him when I was young. I did grow to like him as I got a bit older, but yeah, artists like that, and also obviously NWA and Ice Cube, Eazy, all that sort of stuff as well. So that's basically how I got into hip hop. Uncle Steve actually was a massive hip hop guy. He's a big influence with me for hip hop, so I got to thank my Uncle Steve for that, really, because he really did help a lot with that.
He'll be listening on, I'd suspect.
Yeah, he probably will listen to this one, to be fair. And yeah, I'm sure he'll enjoy this one as he is a big hip hop fan, definitely.
Yeah.
Awesome, I mean, stuff.
No doubt. You touched upon on music channels. MTV was a big influence for all of us watching.
Yeah.
Yo MTV Raps. I mean, without that show and a few kind of sort of Tim Westwood and Capital Radio with the hip hop shows, there were shows that I wouldn't miss. I was always recording off the video, recording off the radio, believe it or not. So great days.
It used to be on sometimes at like 2 o'clock in the morning anyway, Yo MTV Rap, so you had to tape it. But yeah, I always knew a flex. Not a lot of people knew this, right? But back in the day, this is how old I am. Well, you'll be the same, Carlos. You could go on Teletext, and you could go on the TV listings for MTV, and it would show you a track listing for what was going to be on your MTV Raps that night. So you could see, like if you were waiting. Because the problem with MTV was then, it it's what makes it great, really. But like now, you can watch a music channel and see your favorite song come on 3 times in an hour. But back then, if you missed a song, you could be waiting days to see it again on MTV because that's the only music channel.
What you just told me could have saved a lot of trouble because I didn't know. Because sometimes I would record. I mean, I've got videotapes of 4-hour tapes of music videos, and sometimes I used to watch your MTV Raps permanently on pause, trying to record new videos. Obviously,
the ones you wanted, for sure.
Obviously, if I recorded that Biggie video and I already got it on tape, if that came on, I could always tell by the start. Then I wouldn't record it. So sometimes I'd watch a half-an-hour show and there'd be no videos to record. Yeah. If I'd known about the teletext, I would have had it on pause.
No, it was wicked, that was. And I tell you what else they used to do, MTV, which was, it sounds obvious, but they put the name of the artist, the name of the song. They'd always put the name of the album on when the video would start. So then I could go into my local, like you say, Our Price, or into your local. I used to have one called Hitman Music by me, and then I could say, like, I would give them all these artists. They wouldn't have a clue they were, but they could get them in, like Bone Thugs and Harmony. Their album, East 199 Eternal with Crossroads on. As soon as that song dropped on MTV and everyone was going mad for it, like I was straight in there ordering that album, and it was imported. I was like, because we had $24.99 on an import. That was quite a lot back in the 90s for a CD. And then it turned out the version of Crossroads wasn't even the right version on there. Like you had to wait for a re-release with the single version. There's 2 versions of that song. So that was good. Got everyone around my house. I got that CD. Let's listen to that song, and it was the wrong version.
Awesome story of that.
Wicked CD though, £25 for a CD.
God. Nice, yeah. I forgot, 2 versions of a Crossroads. The one I've obviously heard was the classic one that everyone knows. Such a popular song.
Well, he's one of my favourites, no doubt we'll be talking about him later on, but he's in the video, like up in the mountains and all in the clouds, and it's a wicked video. That was the other thing about hip-hop. Like you were saying about the videos on MTV, they were getting big budget videos, other genres of music weren't getting such big budget. You're getting Hype Williams, like when the video comes in, directed by Hype Williams.
And it would be a big video.
It'd be an amazing video. And this was in the 90s. They were blowing budgets on videos. Like, a lot of it was spent irresponsibly, I suppose, in hindsight, but they didn't care, did they? They were just living the life, And they mad in rap or heavy metal is the only time you can act an asshole and people love you for it. If you're in any other genre, they'll cancel you. If you're in rap, they don't get it. The worse you are, the better, more famous you are. So...
Awesome, great stuff. So that's the stories of how we got into hip hop and stuff. Links in the description box down below. By the way, guys, of course, give both these guys a sub because they both have fantastic channels.
Cheers, Scotty.
No worries. And with all that being said, I think we've all got some honorable mentions, I guess, in this video as well. So we'll go through some of those. We'll go bumper the Carlos and then myself, and then we'll probably do bumper number 10, Carlos number 10, and then myself number 10, and go like that throughout the live stream, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
So bumper, what's some of your honourable mentions, my friend?
I was having a look at my list now. I think the main honourable mention, and I'm a little bit gutted not to put the guy in the top 10, but I think Ice-T. Like when I was growing up, Home Invasion, he got the best intro to any album ever. I don't know if you're familiar with it. It comes up with like a public warning saying if you were offended by words, like it just reels off loads of swear words. And I used to listen to that album all the time, Home Invasion and Power. But the reason why he's not on my list is because he kind of faded early, but he didn't fade. He made the common sense to go into acting instead, and make his crust that way. A lot safer really back then, I suppose, and whatever than living a street life. But Ice-T, the original pimp, one of the first real rappers to bring that sort of pimp lifestyle and merge it with the music. And he did drop an album later, Return of the Real, with a song called I Must Stand On, and I bang that tune all the time. It's absolutely awesome. So Ice-T would be one. I think one I won't waste much time on, but Ludacris, because I used to dance to him all the time in the nightclubs. Used to have
Luda.
For when you're like Luda, used to go out drunk and Luda, when his songs come on, and we'd all spaz out on the dance floor. So Luda, he didn't quite make it. And just one other one really, a rapper called Big L. I don't know if you know. Well, I know
Big L.
L is like But he died too young, like, and he got an album called The Big Picture that is awesome. Is this a Welsh boxer? I can't think what his name is. Lee Selby, and he always comes down to the ring to his one song and is banging like it's a proper gangster old school. Like you said about the sound being different in the olden days, that represents the sound that does that song proper, like just, and that's it. And then it's all about the lyrics. So Big L. So just Luda, Big L, and what the other one I said was, I can't remember now. I'm brain shot to bits. Luda, Big L, and Ice-T.
Yeah.
Well, Body Count using this to do with Ice-T. He's still going now with Body Count now, so he is still relevant. To be fair,
yeah, great honourable mentions. I mean, my top 10 is basically, I'll do my honourable mentions. I'll just say that my top 10 is really based on kind of longevity, skills, their kind of style, persona, the way they being the complete sort of MC, bangers, sort of softer tunes. I've not really gone for like awards and artists with big sales. I mean, there might be one or two of those artists, but they've come down. So my top 10 would be completely different to, they're the top 10 hip hop artists, MCs, in my opinion. But my top favorite 10 that I would rather listen to would be completely different. I mean, again, like Bumper says, Ice-T is an artist that I listened through the 80s and 90s. Not the greatest lyricist. Same can be said about Eazy-E. Again, he was more of a producer behind the scenes. He wasn't really a rapper. I mean, those guys I love listening to, but I just couldn't really put them in my top 10. I mean, Tupac is another artist which a lot of people are going to hold their hands up in the air. Again, he was an artist I only really listened to just before he died. The All Eyes on Me album, basically for the production of Dr. Dre. He would be in my top 10, but it's hard for me to put him as like the top 5 MCs because he's an iconic figure. And, a lot of people started to listen to Tupac because of what happened. They weren't really listening to him much beforehand. So I find it, pretty questionable when a lot of people say he's the greatest MC. One of the greatest iconic hip hop figures. Absolutely, he's there. The same could be said for Chuck D, Public Enemy. You'd have to put him as one of the most iconic figures. Run DMC. They're not great lyricists, but the two of them with Jam Master Jay were a fantastic group. I'd throw them in as iconic figures, and Eazy-E. So that's kind of the reason why I wouldn't have Tupac in my top 10, but he would probably be in my top 20. I just get that out of the way.
Still high.
Yeah, I mean, honourable mentions, I think Scarface from the Ghetto Boys, Ice-T. I mean, Scarface is still going, Ice-T. Guru, again, I mean, a real excellent rapper. You can literally hear every word that he says. I could listen to him all the time. One of the greatest rap duos, him and DJ Premier and Gangsta. I play those albums all the time. The one artist that got squeezed out of the top 10, I'm starting to listen to a lot more, which I know probably Craig's a big fan of, and that's Kool G Rap. Personally, his sort of style, hip-hop, is my sort of style and would be in that top 10. That kind of underground sort of battle rap, sort of grimy, sort of gangster sort of raps. He would probably be number 11 for me. Very difficult. I wanted to squeeze him in, but the other 10, I just think they're placed higher for certain reasons and better reasons. So, yeah, there's a couple of honourable mentions. And you, Scott?
Nice, Carlos. Some really good honourable mentions there. Some great rappers for sure. Awesome stuff. And I've got a few. I'm gonna show you a couple of the CDs I got actually. This one is basically personal nostalgia. He's not an amazing rapper by any means, but when I was about maybe 13 or 14, I really got into this guy's stuff, and I've got most of his CDs. Young Jeezy, so yeah, a modern one. So yeah.
Okay.
And this is the album Recession, which is probably the one that I've listened to the most, but I'm also big fan of the album's Inspiration, Down the Will Is Back, and all that sort of stuff. And Let's Get It Motivation, which I think was one of his earlier ones as well. But yeah, like I say, not the
Young
best
Jeezy.
rapper, but I just find his music so catchy, and I've always enjoyed listening to it. And obviously, nostalgia's through the roof of this, so yeah, he definitely had to be an honourable mention for me. Love his music. Next up, I did think about having this artist in the top 10, but his latest stuff is, to be honest, pretty crap, to be fair. And again, he's not the best lyricist by far, but again, I love his early stuff. So 50 Cent, Guess Who's Back, the EP, really good stuff on this.
That's his
actually.
best album.
Yeah, it's really
It's his
good.
best
I
album.
need to listen to it again actually, because I haven't listened to it in ages. But I think it's the song "Be a Gentleman." Is that the song that he done the diss track towards Ja Rule? I think it's that one.
He done a few. He done a few at Ja Rule, didn't he?
Yeah. There's one song, I can't remember which song it is now, but there's one song I absolutely love. I think it might be "Be a Gentleman," but there's a lot of great stuff on there.
I think
And
Wankster's on there, isn't it? Wankster's a good song.
That's a great song.
Yeah.
And I decided to show another one of his albums. This was his second proper studio one, if I remember correctly. It's the Massacre, which is one that I've always been a big fan of as well. Not as good as Get Rich or Die Trying, but I did really enjoy this album. I'm Supposed to Die Tonight, Piggy Bank, and
Piggyback's quite funny.
Yeah,
Scott, we'll make the collection here. Look, he's not in my list just for the record, but I just grabbed all my hip hop CDs just in case of people coming up. So, spoiler alert, he ain't in my top 10, but gotta have Get Rich or Die Trying in the car, haven't you, now and again?
Yeah, cracking album. Gatman and Robin featuring Eminem. I do quite enjoy that one, to be fair, and Out of Control is really good. So yeah, good rapper. Not the best, but I do enjoy a lot of his early stuff for sure. And there is a few artists I do want to mention that I don't actually own anything of, but I would definitely like to do so in the future. Rakim from Eric and B and Rakim. Great rapper. Yeah, I know. I don't actually own any of their stuff. I've heard obviously quite a few songs like Don't Sweat a Technique, which is an absolute banger. I know, but don't know the Ledge, I think it's called, from Juice. Love that song, the opening song on that film, just quality. And obviously the main classic, Paid in Full, which everyone knows that one. Great song. So yeah, Rakim, I've been listening to him a bit more recently on some of his solo albums. I do like the song Waiting for World to End, which is a really good song. And yeah, he's done some great stuff, but I haven't listened to him enough to get him in the top 10. And also Big Daddy Kane, do really like his music, but again, I haven't listened to enough to really get him into a top 10, unfortunately. But the song Young, Gifted and Black, absolutely amazing. Love that song. Ain't No Half Stepping, that's a good one. I love the Friday 13th Jason line in that. That does crack me up.
That's a good one.
Yeah, and Enough Respect too as well from also from Juice, which is also fantastic. Love that song as well. So yeah, he's done some great music. And one which is actually a rapper I've gotten into recently and realised how good he really is. He could quite easily get into top 10 if I listen to his stuff a bit more, but it is Guru from Gangster. Yeah, just missing out on a top 10. But I think he's absolutely fantastic. Great rapper. Moment of Truth, the song is absolutely amazing. I love that song so much. Great album. Yeah, great album. And of course, Battle from 8 Mile, absolute banger. Love that one. Tune, mate. Proper tune.
He started.
I have indeed. And what's the other one I really like? Mass Appeal, which obviously classic. Everyone knows that one. That's a great one as well. So yeah, just missing out on a top 10 just because I haven't listened to enough of their stuff again. But
that's fair.
Could quite easily go in there at some point, to be fair, because he is fantastic. That's all my honourable mentions. We'll go through a couple of comments because we have got a few comments that have popped in. So We got Slipknot fan here. Hello, mate. Great to see you here.
Cheers for tuning in.
Indeed. And we've got our Humphreys here. Hello, my friend. How's it going? Says, hello, Scott, Carlos and Bumper. How are you guys? It's been a while. Hope you're well. Doing very well, thank you. And got people chatting amongst themselves, which is really good. We got our Anthony saying, I was really into Run DMC when I was about 16. I'm all about the metal now. That's fair enough, mate. Totally get that. I do like a bit of metal myself, to be fair.
They did cross over Run DMC with a bit of metal.
Yeah, but
quite a few tracks.
Yeah, but can't remember. Oh no, that was Public Enemy, wasn't it? We Anthrax one. That's the one. Yeah, that's Public Enemy, isn't it? Oh, sorry, missed the comment there. Got said not fans saying, did you guys ever find it confusing? One of the MTV rap hosts was named Dr. Dre, not Dr. Dre, the producer.
No, I didn't.
No.
Yeah. There's been a couple of artists called Dre over the years, because it's just short for Andre, and Andre's quite a popular name growing up in the hood, so it used to confuse me a little bit at first when I was younger, but I was alright after, when you watch the first episode and realise he's a different guy, but I can see why it would be confusing for anyone researching it now in a modern time. They think,
he was part of a double act called Original Concept. That Dre. I don't think they just released a few singles. That Dre, the big fat Dre, who was the presenter of the MTV Raps. But he's a large. I mean, you can tell he's not the Dr. Dre as we know.
Yeah. You might need to go and see a doctor, but
it was Dre and Ed Lover, wasn't it? That presented
Ed Lover, that's him.
Yeah, Gangster Dresden, I think, was short for Dre as well, wasn't it? A rapper from he's collaborated with Eazy-E and stuff like that. Got our Humphrey saying, I really like Ice-T. He has a good sense of humour. He was in the episode of Rick and Morty, and of course Body Count. I didn't know he was in Rick and Morty, to be fair. Wow.
I'll tell you what, mine, Body Count. Their first album, I can still see it now with the little baby squares on the front. That must have come out when I was about 13. I'm now 44, and they're still making music. They've just done a show now and they dropped a new album. That is some sustainability for Body Count, like a band that no one would even heard of, really, unless you was into it. Do you know what I mean? But I love them. Their songs are funny, because they just say the same 5 lyrics over and over. But it's just good for losing your temper to, lifting weights to, or whatever. But Ice-T, how he's kept that band relevant for, and I don't think they've ever changed members really either. Maybe one of them's died or whatever over the years. I don't know, but just mad. I find out with Body Count.
Do you remember Bumper? He might remember that Ice-T with Body Count. They were going to release a tune called Cop Killer. Yeah, Cop Killer. Before they released it, they confiscated all the albums, and they literally took all those albums off the shelves. As soon as it got released in the States, that album got taken off, and the track had to be taken off because obviously Ice-T is kind of advocating,
go kill some cops,
go and kill a cop, and obviously you've got the Rodney King thing going on. Riots. It was at that time, that early '90s thing. That was quite a. It was a big thing in the States.
Yeah.
Definitely. Got not saying Body Count in the house. Humphrey says Body Count as well. They remember. Fan says Body Counts in the House was used in Universal Soldiers end credits.
Yeah, right, tidy.
Yeah, a lot of hip hop was used in movie soundtracks, weren't they?
Yeah, quite a few, definitely. And we got our Humphrey saying tune, Scott, mate. Indeed, and that's it for comments for now. So I guess we get started with the top 10, and Bumper, you want to get started with number 10, please?
Sure. I was having an hour in between this one and Ice-T for number 10. I got to be honest. I don't want to call him a one album wonder because he's done loads of work since and he's iconic and sing. But my number 10 is Nas. So
Oh, nice.
like this is the first album's the best one. It was written. That album is just amazing. The thing is, it was written. No, it might just be called Nas. I don't know.
Illmatic.
Illmatic. It was the second one. Sorry, Illmatic. So Illmatic is a killer album. I just haven't got it because I've only got a handful of CDs because I've never had a CD player in my car. But all of a sudden, the last one I bought had one in there, so I bought a handful. But anyway, so this has got a song called "Got Yourself a Gun On," and it's like taken from the tune from The Sopranos.
Yeah.
That's like an amazing tune. You turn that up and you think, drive around with that on your car, you think you're untouchable. And it's got Ether on there, which is a Jay-Z diss. And I was all for the rap beefs in the 90s and the 2000s. I used to lap them up, like, you know what I mean? It used to be a good part about liking the music. But like Ether, like he went pretty hard on that. Like, and it's a bit of an embarrassing listening some of it. Like calls Jay-Z like an AIDS victim and all this. But I love it. Like, 'cause I used to live a rap battle. I used to listen to it. I used to think, oh my God, Nas has just killed him on wax on this. Like, this is hardcore. And yeah, there's a few other ones on this. So this and Illmatic, those two albums. I don't really listen to much of what's in between. But that's enough to get him number 10. So yeah, I'm going to say Nas, and he starred in the movie Belly as well, which is awesome. So
movie.
I need to see that. Yeah.
I can get it on 4K in the States. I got it. It's awesome. So yeah, Nas. I don't like any of the stuff he done when he like got with the Bravehearts. That was all corny, Uchi Wally and all that. I wouldn't say any of that shit. But he's done enough to get him number 10.
Okay, awesome.
Nice, good choice.
Okay.
Go on then, Carlos.
My number 10 starts off with MC Hammer. If you believe that, you believe anything.
No.
Throw that
out. That album, so I can't do nothing. That and Vanilla Ice, both.
Please don't hurt them. It's funny that Craig's brought in Nas at number 10 because number 10. Well, I don't mind this artist when he first came. His last couple of albums hasn't been that great for me. I'm going to go with Jay-Z.
Okay.
And I kind of a bigger disagreement for me when they do these kind of listings, Billboard, and they have him as the greatest rapper of all time. Yeah, I think they've based it more on sales and awards. I think a lot of the reason why his career has escalated to where it's got is maybe because, as a New York artist on the East Coast, Biggie having a kind of shorter career, he kind of took over that mantelpiece a little bit. While I do rate him, I just don't really have him. Couldn't possibly put him in my top 5. I mean, he would always be sort of around about 8, 9, or 10. With me. I mean, probably my favourite album when he first came out, Reasonable Doubt. The Takeover, which he does that diss at Nas, which when that actually came out, I was like, shit, I could not believe. I mean, Nas's career at that time wasn't in great shape. And a lot of the lines that he puts on Nas there is actually truthful. He's basically saying the Illmatics, it's a one classic album based according to percentages and stuff. And I think for me,
album every 10-year average.
And I always think when rappers and MCs, they come up with real facts, that hits harder than kind of fake bravado talk for me. And obviously, a lot of people, I mean, I don't favour and say who won that battle because I think Jay-Z's career was a little bit ahead of Nas, but it done their careers good. I mean, obviously Nas he recuperated because of obviously Ether, because I mean Ether is a fantastic reply. Even though they had another track each in replies, they weren't as good as the Takeover and Ether. But I like Jay-Z's kind of, it's quite versatile. I mean, these albums, he done an album Unplugged, which is basically him rapping over kind of instrumentals with like a band. I thought that's he's clever there. And even an album he did with Linkin Park, again, he's doing something completely different. So he is quite versatile. But some of his more recent stuff has kind of really dropped his stock for me. I mean, the first couple of albums he did, he was really, really good. So yeah, number 10, Jay-Z.
Awesome. Good choice there, Carlos. Great stuff. And number 10 for me is an artist I absolutely love. He doesn't write his lyrics. He's not a great lyricist, but I love listening to his music, and it's the music. It's the main thing for me, and his voice is fantastic, and I have him in the top 10. But the reason why he's at number 10 is because he doesn't write his songs, so he's not the best rapper. But it is Eazy-E.
I knew you was going to say that.
Yeah. Love Eazy-E, and this is obviously the album Easy Does It, which is a great album. I mean, opens up with We Want Easy, which is fantastic. Yeah. Easier said than done. Ray J's fun, and of course, Boys in the Hood. Who can forget about that one? What a song that is. I do love his other stuff as well, like Straight Off the Streets of Motherfucking Compton. It's great. Banger.
Absolute
so good.
Killer.
Yeah.
Absolute killer, that one.
And also, I love the songs. If it's on Motherfucker, then it's on. That's a great song. And of course, Will Motherfucking G's.
When Straight Out of Motherfucking Compton come out, because it had the swear word on the cover in the music shops in Britain, it had one of those things over it, like what you have on a scratch card. You had to get a coin when you go home and scratch it off. So you could then see that it said motherfucker across the middle. They still spelled it differently the way you would spell it anyway, with like a M-U-T-H-A-P-H or whatever. Yeah. But it was still there. But that album was insane. Like, he's a bit of a nursery rhyme rapper, like you say, but I love Eric.
I love him as well. Again, I mean, like I did say, he's in my top 10 artists that I would listen to. That's a completely different list to my top 10 hip hop artists. But love Eric. Easy.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. And of course, who could forget about the song Merry Motherfucking Christmas? Merry Motherfucking Christmas and a fucked up New Year.
That's the Christmas tune, that is.
Yeah.
Not many rappers have done a Christmas song. There's one for you, though.
Yeah, definitely.
More than a smoking weed song, but not that.
Brilliant. So yeah, Eazy-E is number 10 for me.
Where'd you get that vinyl from, Scott? That's probably one of my favourite albums. I didn't know it had is that a remaster as well? Like,
yeah. I want to say Amazon, but it was a while back now, so I'm not 100% sure.
Nice.
But yeah, I think it was Amazon. Got my Wayne Ertz, I think that's how you pronounce that, and he's put 10. Yep, that was number 10 choices there. We got Alan 3 saying you'd be going for a sec there, Carlos, right?
It was MC Hammer.
I was going to say, surely not. Carlos can't have that in the top 10. No way. No.
I got Vanilla Ice number 9.
I used to love Vanilla Ice, but he's not in my list, obviously. But my first album, To the Extreme, guy, I used to listen to that, mind. I can't deny it.
That's fair. We got Slipknot fans saying I had an Ours, it was written on CD.
It's a good album it was written. It's got If I Ruled the World on there, haven't it? And the message at the start has got that real, like, melancholy little tune over the top. Like, when it drops in, you think, it's
yeah, but I don't think I've listened to it all the way through, but I might have heard a few songs off of it.
Well, that's it with Nas, isn't it? There's only ever a handful of songs on each album, apart from Illmatic. You can put that one start to finish, but the rest of them, there are only 3 or 4, and that's the problem, isn't it? You know, like?
Yeah, I agree, definitely. Got our free saying motherfucker. Indeed. Number 9, Bumper, what's your number 9 choice?
I don't think I got an album to show you for number 9.
No worries.
That's all right. So this guy is a bit commercial, but you've just got to think about what he's done and what he's done for rap in the early 90s, and the fact that even though he's a commercial artist now, when he dropped America's Most Wanted with the 3 KKKs in, like, you know, he was a bit of a gangster. He was a bit not gangster, but none of them were really gangsters in NWA, I don't suppose. They were too young, but he didn't, you know, he was willing to put his neck on the line for what he said. Like, he would come out and diss people in power in America and not give a shit. So Ice Cube, basically, Ice Cube's my number 9. The Predator album is like my favorite Ice Cube album. I'd always listen to it. Like, he's got like the pipe on the cover that he's smoking that the guy from Cypress Hill gave him, and then dissed him later on, saying you don't even smoke weed, really, you're tired. But the Predator album, like that, you can listen to that from start to finish, and that's proper West Coast bop your head. It was a good days on there. And just loads of other sick tunes as well. Like, and yeah, you know, I'm not really into his you can do it, put your back into it days and all that, like, but he can still drop a tune now, though. He's done a couple of low-key albums over the last 10 years, and I've listened to, like, made a point of listening to, like, the lead single off the album or whatever, and he's still a pretty good lyricist. Like, he's nice and slow. Like, I think we're a lot of modern day now, unless they're rapping 10,000 miles an hour, they don't think anyone's impressed. But no, Ice Cube, like, he's nice and clear, and he's just like, I don't know, like, it's just he's my number 9 basically. I've listened to enough Ice Cube to say that he's got to be in my top 10 rappers really, and he's done some good albums in the 90s. And all the films as well, you know, like The Boys in the Hood. He had a wicked acting career. Like, you know, the guy's got talent. He might, like I say, he might come across as soft now, but, you know, these people knew where to go for the money, see? They knew the rap game wasn't going to last forever. So he's another smart one. Like, Jay-Z's smart. Like, he's one of the smartest rappers out there. He knows when the business opportunities are coming. But like Ice Cube, you know. So, number 9, Ice Cube.
Good choice.
Awesome. Yeah, great choice there, Bumper. Brilliant stuff. Carlos.
Okay, my number 9. I don't think you guys are going to have this artist, and I think a lot of people are going to be surprised. For me, I think he's the most underrated rapper, hip-hop artist, MC. I've actually seen him in London in the London Jazz Cafe, and I was kind of a fan, but he was a Juice Crew member with Big Daddy Kane and Cool G Rap, but he was kind of an artist that they didn't really put his albums over. And since he come away from the Cold Chillin' label, I think he's still putting out albums now, and he just gets better and better. I mean, he's got to be in his late 40s or even early 50s. I think he's an American football coach. And a lot of his albums, he does like theme albums where it's like a movie. It's like a start, middle, and an end. And I love those sort of albums where he does an album and it's based on his childhood. He's on that album based every track that he's in school. And I've got to go with Master Ace.
Nice.
I mean, he doesn't really put out many diss records, but they're kind of like easy listening sort of type of hip hop, a bit like Guru. I mean, here's some of his other albums: Disposable Arts, Long Hot Summer, and also Son of Yvonne. He normally does albums with Marco Polo, and this is The Fallen Season. Still putting out albums today, and I think he's really highly underrated. I mean, check his albums out. Just play one of his albums, and it's a real cool concept. That, you know, it's literally like a movie, like a start, middle, and finish, and kind of a unique idea that I think is really underappreciated. I think a lot of people probably might have him in their top 20 or top 30. A lot of the old school hip hop heads, maybe not some of the younger hip hop fans, they might not have even heard of him, but fantastic. And yeah, I'd like to see him again. He does come over to the UK quite a bit. So yeah, number 9, Master Ace.
Awesome stuff, Carlos. I've got to be honest, I haven't listened to him in a long time, to be fair, but I have heard a couple songs. So yeah, awesome. And my number 9 again, this is kind of nostalgia. I do love his music, and yeah, I've always enjoyed him as an artist. I haven't listened to much of his later stuff, but all the earlier stuff was great. Got 2 CDs to show as well, and it's DMX.
Nice.
do really like DMX. This is It's Dark and Hell is Hot. This is an album that I really do enjoy. Got Rough Riders Anthem on there, which is an absolute banger. Yeah, quality tune. Damien's one that I always liked as well. Get at Me Dog as well is a good one. Yeah, it's got
Stop
some
Being
great
Greedy
stuff.
is a good tune on there as well.
Yeah, definitely. That's also good.
Have you seen a video to that? Stop Being Greedy is mad. They do.
I've seen a few music videos. I'm not sure if I've seen that one or not, though. To be fair, I'm not 100% sure. But another one. This is quite a cool one. I've had this years, to be fair, and you can kind of tell because it's quite warped with stickers on the front. But The Great Depression, which is another album I like a lot as well. Who We Be's my favourite on there. Just classic.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Love that song. Rewrite Here as well. That's another one I always really enjoyed. I Miss You featuring Faith Evans. Not a massive fan of Faith Evans, but I do enjoy that song. To be fair, it's a good one. Damien Free I remember liking as well. Do also love the album Grand Champ and stuff like that. And then there was X. So yeah, I do really like DMX, to be fair.
I think he would have been DMX would have been a great artist to sort of cross over with like heavy metal.
Yes.
For some strange reason, I always imagine him being in Glastonbury and just having the stage of people just jumping off. Yeah, I mean, I think he's one of them sort of rappers that to do like a hip hop tour, and you've done a hip hop sort of tour with several artists. If you had him on there, to get the crowd jumping, DMX is perfect for that. He got taken away too early. Another one.
Yeah, I agree, definitely.
His own fault though for being a crackhead, unfortunately.
True.
You can't polish it up, because what a waste of a career. Because like you say, you imagine DMX on stage in Glastonbury. I love DMX. Like, we'll come back to him, but he would have been the best Blade when he had his charisma and he was starting acting. If he could have got a role as Blade then in a Blade movie, he'd be fantastic in the dark glasses and the long leather coat and the black vest. He would have that could have maybe changed his trajectory on life then, like, rather than going back to the drugs, like, because his music was always been good, mine, and always sold. But I suppose maybe sometimes he allures too much. But yeah, I always imagine him as Blade. I always think that was such a wasted opportunity, because he's in quite a few films, good ones like Romeo Must Die and Exit Wounds, and he comes across as all right. So
yeah. I think one I saw years ago was Never Die Alone, which I quite enjoyed. That one, that was pretty good.
Yeah, he's all right. He was, like, say, he did die too young, but
yeah, definitely. Another
he impressed me in Belly.
Oh yeah, he's great in Belly. That's why I can't believe I didn't say Belly then when I was listening to films. Obviously, like, he sums it up perfectly in Belly. Like, great performance.
I need to see that, to be fair. I've heard Belly's great, to be fair.
It's a movie as well.
Not quite as good as Menace to Society, but it's on par with the others, like,
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, Menace to Society is definitely one of my favourites of that type of film, for sure.
Belly's very heavily stylized. Like, you can tell Hype Williams is very influenced by, like, Scarface and things like that, by the numbers, but it's still pretty original. Like, you've got this, like, wicked Jamaican woman in it, like, who's like a hit woman, like, and all. It's got some good stuff on show, but it's very stylized. Like,
yeah, that's fair enough. Going back to DMX music videos, for another one of first rap songs I've heard and music videos that I saw when I was very, very little, possibly about 3 or 4 years old again, would have been X Gonna Give It To You by DMX. Obviously the cut version, because they wouldn't have the uncut version on TV in the afternoon.
I was in the pubs drinking when that came out. Jesus Christ. You weren't even born when it's dark and hell is hot. Was out then, were you?
Which one?
It's dark and hell is hot. You wouldn't have even been born when that was out.
No, that was
4 when.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been born when that album came out. No.
Scott was playing catch up.
Oh, that's I mean, amazing. Well, good stuff to stumble on, But oh yeah, God, he was a big influence at the time. DMX. If you weren't around at the time, rap was getting a bit soft at the time, and he needed someone to come in, man, with that attitude. And when Rough Riders Anthem dropped, well, he'd done a feature with Mace first on the first Mace album, and he was the last verse on like a group of artists on a song on there, and it was by far the best verse. He chewed the scenery completely, like on the video, and if you just listen to it audio. And then he just dropped out. He's the only artist, I think, to ever have 2 albums at the same time in the top 10 on the Billboard, like that one. And Flesh of My Flesh, Blood of My Blood, like come out about 7 months later, and It's Darker Than His Heart was still in the Billboard. Like that was awesome. DMX's downfall as well. Like he tried to release too much music, and the quality went. But,
yeah, I did forget how good some of his stuff actually was, though, to be fair, before putting him in my top 10. But yeah, he's done some cracking stuff. Sure. Got a few comments, and he's put his top 10 down as well. He says Eminem, pretty much common knowledge. Tupac, best storytelling use of samples, awesome stuff. Says Cooper Don, Rakim, 50, Biggie, KRS-One, LL Cool J, Jay-Z and Eazy-E. Awesome list.
Good really names good there. Stuff.
I'm sure we'll come back to a few of those as it goes on.
More likely, definitely. Says I went through spelt wrong, of course. Yeah, no worries. I got that. Yeah. Got Slipknot fans saying how about Big Pun. Well, we might get to that. You never know. We'll wait and see. We got Jim's movie channel here. Hello, mate. How's it going?
Jim does not love hip hop. I can't see it.
He says, hello, Scott Bumper and my brother from another mother, Carlos. Won't have much to add to the conversation, as I'm definitely not a hip hop guy. Full-fledged metalhead drummer here. Nice.
Yeah. Cheers, Jim.
Yeah, cheers for stopping by, mate. Got Andy Sykes stuff here. Hello, mate. Great to see you here. Thank you for joining. Says I was into NWA and Ice-T back in the late 80s, 90s. Never really got into a noughties rap scene, 50 Cent, Eminem, etc. Nice stream, lads. That's fair enough. Totally get that, and thank you. Definitely. Sorry about that. Slipknot fans saying DMX is one of my favourite rappers. He's a great rapper, mate. Done some great stuff. Got Jim saying, as I said earlier, I've never really been into hip hop. However, I was a fan of NWA and Public Enemy back in the day. Nice.
Do, Jim.
Awesome stuff.
Do you know DMX, Jay-Z and Biggie all went to the same school, and they used to say that DMX was the best freestyle rapper out of all of them. Fair dues. That's true, lads. They all went to the same school. I don't know what the difference is in their ages, but those 3 went to the same school. So imagine there was some battles going on the yard.
Yeah. We got Jim saying I had no idea that Iron Maiden was a rap artist. Just kidding. that would be different for sure. Got I went through saying Maiden. Yeah, love Maiden. Massive fan. Got Jim saying always thought one of the most iconic things ever was Ice-T and Body Count doing the song Cop Killer, which was one of the most controversial songs ever. That now he has been on Cop on TV for 20 years. I'm assuming that's supposed to say.
It's a bit ironic, isn't it?
Yeah,
controversial it was.
He was the cop in New Jack City as well, wasn't he? He won the gangster.
Yeah.
I think he was the cop in New Jack City. So he was building his way up slowly, switching sides.
Yeah, definitely. We got Stacey here. Hello, Stacey. We got hello. Thanks from Stacey. No worries. So, do you like KRS-One? Yes, indeed. Obviously, won't say too much about certain rappers just in case they are in the top 10 and don't want to give too much away. Obviously. Got Stacey saying, do you like Jeru with Damager? Haven't heard this stuff. Haven't heard this stuff in a long time. But yeah,
love his first 2 albums with DJ Premier. Yeah, underrated artist.
Nice. What about yourself, Craig?
Yeah, I always remember, I think it's the first album. I always picture him on the cover. It had like a brick wall, and then it was him like as a dark figure on the cover, like stood by an iron gate or something. Like I don't know, his eyes were maybe lit up or something on there.
Son of the East.
Son of the East, that's it. Good lad. So that album was a banger, very underrated. I just think he probably came around at the time when there was so many other rappers as well. Like, a lot of them did fall by the waistline, whether they were good or not, because just a smorgasbord in the 90s. It was their way of getting out the hood, wasn't it, making some money. So he was all at it.
He's still putting out albums. He actually appeared in the Jazz Cafe in London. I think his career, his first 2 albums, he was DJ Premier was doing all the production, and I think the third album they had differences, and it kind of flopped because he didn't have DJ Premier in the production. I think he just went for a different type of sound, and it wasn't as good. I mean, I've heard a few tracks of his, but his best work were definitely the first 2 albums for sure.
You needed that producer power in the 90s as well. Like that's the first thing everyone did was look who produced the album or go into the track listing and see who produced each track. Like, you know what I mean? If you had the backing of a good producer, that was half the battle won. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, if you had like a Marley Marl, Pete Rock,
exactly.
you know, those sort of guys, or Dr. Dre, then you know your raps with kind of like a unique sound, it's gonna upgrade the album for sure.
Definitely, 100%. And I've got an artist mentioned earlier, actually. Andre Nicotana, Tina, sorry, not Nicotana.
I don't know who that is. I gotta be honest.
No,
who was it, Scott? Who was it?
Andre Nicotino. Is that? So, I might have been someone else mentioned earlier. To be fair, I'm not actually too sure who that is off the top of my head.
My son would probably know. He's into the modern day stuff.
Yeah, it might be.
I'm not sure. Sorry, Stacey. Got Aaron Free saying, imagine if Parsley was a rap song. That'd be interesting, to be fair. I wouldn't be against listening to that, to be fair. Got Stacey saying, terrific picks. Thank you, Stacey. Appreciate that. Got Jim saying, Ice Cube went from saying fuck police to playing a cop in several films. True. Yeah.
Both him and Ice-T, but hey ho.
Indeed. Got Jim saying, go ninja, go ninja, go ninja. Okay. He also says that Hello Beaver name would actually translate good to a rap song. Yeah, probably would, to be fair. I'd agree with that. Bit of Maiden.
A Dre beat on there.
Yeah. Would be interesting. Got Stacey saying, oh my god, highly recommend Andre Nicotina. Dagquil Factory got me a house out in the gangbang heaven.
Daiquiri Factory. A daiquiri is a kind of drink. Great song.
Never heard of him, to be honest. So that's something might have to check out. But yeah, number 8 choice now. What's your number 8 choice, Bumper?
Okay, again, I haven't got a CD to show you because, like I said, I'm limited on my CDs. But yeah, number 8 then, I think definitely only really had one good album, but the album was so good and it just brings back so many memories of when I was young in school. We went to France on a school trip, and when we got to France, we went in like their version of an Asda, like just to get some snacks and all that, because we'd been on a coach for ages, because back then in the school trips, there was no like Eurotunnel, there'd been a coach and a ferry, and they had it there on cassette. And I bought it, and then we got the bus driver to put it on. He was French, he didn't have a clue, and it started to feel. It was only on for about a minute, and the teacher was like, "Turn this off, turn this off, turn this off." So that's Snoop Dogg, and the album was Doggy Style. The Doggy Style is quite possibly, if you want an album you can listen to from start to finish, it's quite possibly the album that you never have to skip a track on. It might lose pace with certain areas, like some of it's like really upbeat and poppy, and then some of it's really dark, like Murder Was the Case. But then he never really done it again. Then, like the Dogfather came out, it was pretty crap. He had No Limit, Top Dog, which was all right. Had maybe 3 or 4 songs on him, and he come back to Dre after being with No Limit Records for so long. Then he did a lot of features, didn't he? Like Just to Pay the Bills with like Justin Bieber and Katy Perry and all that. That's fine, though, because I mean, I've got to listen to songs on the radio with my kids in the car. I'd rather listen to dog pop songs than normal pop songs, like, because he never really lost his coolness, did he? No matter how commercial he went, he was still always on like, wasn't he? But I don't know, he could never emulate that first album because he still worked with Dre. He still, he just completely lost his flow, like in. But I mean, going back into a bit now, like he's been doing some songs recently, more mellow, like Smoking the Weed and My Last Dance with Mary Jane. I don't know if you've seen the video to that song. That must have cost somebody. That's probably the best hip-hop video I've seen in the last 20 years. So put that into YouTube. It's got a wicked 2-pack tribute on it. My Last Dance with Mary Jane. Yeah, it's a wicked video.
Nice.
Yeah, because of Doggy Style, and yeah, and all his work on the Dr. Dre second album as well, 2001. You know, him and Eminem, you know, made that album what it was as well. And the fact that I'm a smoker myself, always have been. So yeah, me and Uncle Snoop, like Snoop's my man. So number 8, Snoop Dogg.
Nice,
Yeah.
good choice. And yeah, Doggy Style Car, what an album.
Yeah,
Oh,
classic album.
yeah, definitely. What's your number 8, Carlos?
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with what Bumper said. I mean, I remember that album when it came out, Doggy Style, went out and bought it. So as soon as it got released, it is an album you can listen to from start to finish. Classic album. But as Bumper said, a lot of the albums that followed were pretty poor. I mean, that Dogfather, it's like a change of style. I mean, when you see what he did on The Chronic and Doggy Style, and obviously Tupac got shot, it seems like he had to change his style because maybe, you know, F this, F that, I'm going to get you, I'm going to get you that. He totally went the opposite and went kind of like R&B hip hop. He never kind of got it back, which was a shame, really. And he's more of a kind of pop figure rather than, for me,
he's more just a feature artist now. Like,
yeah,
you know, let's get this new artist popular. We'll put Snoop Dogg on with them, like, but you know, but like, it's not sad. You can't say it's sad because he's making loads of money, isn't he? He's minted, like, so you know, he don't care, does he? Like, obviously,
he's earning money. There's no doubt about it. But then you always want that artist to be as he was in that classic album, to be like that all the way their career. And obviously careers change. You know, they got to make different, you know, like Bumper says, tracks with like Katy Perry and artists like that are definitely going to pay the bills, rather than him doing real kind of underground sort of rap beefs and with unknown producers. You know, that might be good for the underground hip hop heads, but you know, paying the bills, it's not going to do that. You know, working for these pop sort of singers, you're going to get more money for doing that. I mean, for me, those rappers, it's either you cross that line or you don't. Some do, some won't. So you can't knock Snoop for that.
I mean, and the thing with Snoop, like, is he did serve some bird as well. Like, you know, he did do a bit of jail time early in his life. And what was I going to say? He done some bird, and I can say something else as well about him. I can't think what it was. That
no worries.
People would be surprised, you know, like, so he did live it from. Oh, that's right. He done the soundtrack to Deep Cover, and they done a song, didn't they? It's a 187 on an undercover cop. It's a bit like that caused a big scene as well, like when it first came out. So, you know, like, he was pretty gangster, like, trying to be at the start, but like Carlos said, when it all went tits up, like, and Death Row turned into a bit of a circus, like, I think maybe he thought, oh, this is probably not for me, like, you know, so.
Yeah, I mean, when you said that he went to No Limit, he was, some of them albums with Master P were fucking dire.
They were crap on No Limit. They had no talent whatsoever. They just had money. Was it? Their album covers were the worst. The album covers used to make you want to be sick. They used to be like these really like shiny, chavvy. I don't know how to explain it now, because this horrible digital print picture, like, you know, like they had one. It's like C Murder was a rapper. He was all right, but he couldn't carry an album. Like, don't get me wrong, but No Limit. I don't know why he done that. Well, I do it for the money, obviously, but
yeah. Okay, number 8. I have got another artist that I have seen. It's got longevity. Obviously, we know him early on from the NWA group. He was the best rapper in that. Still doing albums today. I think he released an album last year, Man Down, which is kind of like an adult hip-hop album. Number 8, Ice Cube.
Nice.
I mean, America's Most Wanted. I do agree with what Bumper says. I mean, even though Death Certificate's another good album.
Oh, yeah.
I had Predator, my favourite Ice Cube album. I mean, you know, some of his other albums, like Lethal Injection, was good. But I think those first 3 or 4 albums, Ice Cube was, a very, you know, a great rapper who's had a longevity in his career and still doing stuff. I mean, when I went to see him in Camden at the Jazz Cafe, he kind of reined in on his controversial stuff. You know, he would drop a verse from some of these NWA tracks. He didn't really do F the police. He'd done a couple of lines, gangster, gangster. He'd done a couple of lines, but you know, you got to remember. I mean, the guy that I went with was actually, he was pretty pissed off because he wanted to hear Ice Cube doing his controversial stuff. I said, Rich, you got to remember, he's now an actor. He's got to protect his brand. He's doing comedy movies, family shows. So
it's not just that either, is it? You know, he's in his 50s, like, you know, he probably doesn't look at the world the same way as he did in his 20s, and he's embarrassed to actually shout "fuck the police," like, you know what I mean? I cringe when I say it, so, you know.
Yeah, I mean, Bumper's absolutely right. I mean, a lot of these old rappers, I mean, you got to remember, some of them were kind of living off the streets. Some of them were, you know, doing it for the hunger. They can't talk about street life because now they're in mansions.
Exactly.
They got cars, they got jewelry. So they got to rap about something else. So the whole game has completely changed. So, I mean, he's still doing albums now. And, you know, that Man Down album, he's got a track on there called, was it Egos, Big Egos.
That's worth checking out. Video as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's still got it. He's still got it.
Yeah.
He's still got it. Yeah, Ice Cube number 8.
Nice, great choice, Carlos. My number 8 is I do need to listen to a bit more of his stuff actually, but the stuff I've listened to is absolutely fantastic. I've only got one album of his, unfortunately, but it's LL Cool J, and this is the album that was out 2 years ago, I think it was. The Force, which is a good album.
Yeah.
Has that got the song with Eminem on?
Yes, and that song is great. Really good stuff. And there's one called, I think it was The Spirit with Snoop Dogg. That song is great as well. That's one of my favourites. But yeah, this is a good album. I do also really like Radio, which is one of his, might have been his first one.
First album.
Yeah, that's really good. It's got like all the hip hop scratching and mixing on quite a few of the songs, which I do like that style with hip hop, which is great. And also just his classic hits, really, like Around the Way Girl. Not his best song, but I always had fun with that one.
Do you remember? Girl, that's a tune now, isn't it? From back
in the day. Do you remember the video as well when I was younger to that? Great song.
They knew then how to make like sexy R&B rap songs without being cheesy. Do you know, like now it's all just like whiny and I love you, believe me, and all this. But back then, like, it was like sexy and cool, but the lyrics were still a little bit risque, like, you know what I mean? So
yeah, really good song, to be fair. I do like that one a lot. And obviously another classic, another one I remember seeing a music video of was Mama Said Knock You Out. What a song. Yeah, love that one. And also, what's the other one I'm trying to remember? I Need Love as well, of course, which is another classic song. So still going as well. He's done a lot of music and there's a lot of stuff I still need to check out, but the stuff I've heard is great. I'm a massive fan.
He's also the first guy to coin the phrase "the GOAT" at LL Cool J. He dropped an album in the late 90s before anyone was using that term. And he was called the GOAT, greatest of all time. And now everyone uses it like his second language. But there you are. LL Cool J brought that one to the streets.
Indeed. And I think, the song is off that album that I was going to say I'm massive fan of. I think is an underrated song is Ill Bomb. Love that one.
Yeah.
I can't remember the album numbers. I can remember the cover. It was like a cardboard fold out instead of a plastic case. But I remember buying it, like, and listening to it in my mate's house. But yeah, the GOAT, first person to coin that phrase.
Yeah, indeed, definitely. Got Jim saying I have to run, but it's great to talk to you three gentlemen. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you for stopping by, Jim. Appreciate it. Got a very good question from Stacey here saying, what are your favourite songs on Menace to Society soundtrack? Probably Straight Up Menace by MCA. I think that's a really good song, obviously on the end of the film. I do love Ghetto Bird from Ice Cube. I think that's an absolute corker of a song. And I do quite enjoy Computer Love by Zappa as well. I think that's a fun little daft sort of song. It's a little catchy tune there. What about yourself, Bumper?
Well, Straight Up Menace. That's at the start of the film as well. Like I think it's only the tune, but when it's panning over all the city and all, and it's got that sort of electro. Do do do. It's a wicked tune. There's the DJ Quick song on there. That This Is House of Pain. I can't remember what the song's called, but that's on there. That's a pretty good song. God, it's been so long since I listened to the Menace to Society soundtrack. But that MC8 song is a banger, isn't it?
Yeah, that's my favourite one.
Like, you don't get many better on there than that. But so I say that one, and that DJ Quick one I always remember as well.
Nice, great choice there.
I'll say that MC8 one. I never actually owned that soundtrack. I think the only one I've Juice. I think the 8 Mile. I think they're the only soundtrack albums.
Friday was a good one. Friday had a big roster.
Yeah.
Rappers on it. That was a wicked soundtrack.
I might have that one, but the Menace to Society one I never had for some strange reason. So, but I do remember the MC8 one. Yeah, he was kind of a good sort of West Coast rapper. I think he's still putting out stuff every now and again. MC8. I can't, like I say, I'm not really. It's not one of them soundtracks that's like nailed into my head, believe it or not. I mean, those other ones that I just mentioned, like Juice and 8 Mile, I'm a lot more familiar with.
Yeah, I get that. Probably better soundtracks, to be fair. Like overall, I would say. And Josh says, "What would your rapper names be?" Cool, bloody hell.
Bloody hell.
You want to give me one?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know, because I've got a bald head. MC Shiny C, I don't know.
I got a nickname Bumper anyway, so you can just call me Bumper, can you? Or Bumper, you know?
Yeah.
Fuck knows what mine would be, to be fair, Carlos. You're probably better thinking of what...
Scotty Too Hotty.
Yeah, that would do. Why not? Indeed.
You could call yourself Biscotti, because that's like a popular strand of marijuana that they all smoke. So
I can imagine Scotty rapping and doing these karaoke tunes at these hip hop gigs. They'll be chucking their knickers at him.
We got Stacey saying how I called you doing it well. Great song. That's a song I haven't heard in a long time, to be fair.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Straight Up Menace, great song. And number 7, going through this pretty swiftly, which is good. Bumper, what's your number 7?
Hang on, my dog's up a minute.
MC Dog in the house.
MC Dog in the house.
Big dog. Right, so I'll be on number 7. Again, I feel a bit bad because I haven't got CDs to show up like you guys. I haven't got many, but number 7, go back to what Carlos was saying earlier about a certain sound. Like, to me, the reason why modern hip-hop is not as good as old hip-hop is because it's too focused on the heavy production these days. You look at a producer track these days, you got like 100 people on there. Do you know what I mean? Producing a track, and it's focused on like what they can bring to the music, and they're forgetting the lyrics. But, you know, but there's a certain sound from the 90s that is like, you can't mistake it for anything, and that's the Wu-Tang sound. It's that really sort of downbeat. That's all it is. It sort of blows your speakers when you listen to it. And, you know, for me, the number 1 rapper from Wu-Tang was Method Man. So he's in Belly as well. So my number 7 is Method Man. So I used to listen to the first Method Man. I only used to be on about 32 minutes. All the songs used to sound the same, but it was just of his time. It's a time capsule when you listen to that album. The way the music sounds, you can never get music sounding like that these days. It's just completely stripped back. You know, it's 2 instruments or whatever, and just him rapping. And he's got the voice, Method Man. A lot of rappers get the they got a voice that you can instantly recognise. And you know when Meth's on the track, like straight away, he's sumptuous with his smooth lyrics, like. So, number 7 for me, Method Man. Love both his albums, early albums, and all the stuff. You know, when I used to listen to the Wu-Tang and I'd be on my headphones, I could never wait for the Method Man verse. You know, I'd always think, come on, where's Method Man's verse? Like, and he'd always come on and just chew it up every time. So, yeah, number 7 for me, Method Man. I've got to
nice, good choice there, Bumper. What about yourself, Carlos?
Yeah, I'll just say about the Wu-Tang Clan. I love that classic album, the first one. I actually did at that time prefer Method Man. He was my favourite, but when I kind of got more involved in listening to Raekwon, which is his first album, I still need to get that album. That one's always eluded from my collection, and I somehow preferred Raekwon, and I think he released an album end of last year. Method Man still does the odd sort of track every now and again, even though he does a bit of acting. I do enjoy some of Method Man's stuff that he used to do with Redman. They were quite a good double act together. They kind of really, really worked well.
The Blackout album was really good, fair dues.
Yeah.
And the Raekwon album, Built for Cuban Links, that's an amazing album.
That's good. Yeah,
that is an absolute real, you know, a real big sort of album. That's probably my favourite members who went solo. I do remember getting ODB, Old Dirty Bastard's first album. Again, he was kind of more of a character with this kind of, is he on drugs? Is he drunk? or is that just the way he talks?
Like a gimmick rapper, wasn't he? You know, a bit like Busta Rhymes in a way, like a bit of a gimmick.
Yeah,
it was. And, you know, you put him, ODB, with an R&B artist, somehow it used to work. But, you know, it's kind of clever sort of marketing, I suppose. So, yeah, I mean, number 7, I've got to go. I mean, as much as I love this first album, and the second album's still a classic album, I think this artist, if he'd been around today, I think he'd be really pushing into that top 5. An artist that would probably be in my top 5 favourite artists. But I've only got him at number 7 because obviously he got taken away too early, and I've got to go with the Notorious B.I.G. When I got this album, Ready to Die, I actually wore the CD out. This is the second copy of it, because I played it from start to finish. I mean, the track on here, Give Me the Loot, it's like taken out of a movie for me. Some of his R&B stuff, you know, obviously with this album, he could go too much into the R&B a little bit for me, but he still sounded cool. I mean, there were rumors that he was kind of, after this album, he was going to kind of leave P. Diddy or Puff Daddy. How that could have affected his career, I don't know. But again, a great wrap up, and kind of what that storytelling type of rap, Slick Rick, Cool G rap. But Biggie, yeah, just a real shame. And I kind of felt that Jay-Z's career kind of escalated a lot more, because I think at that time Biggie was kind of carrying the mantelpiece for the East Coast, and then kind of, you know, Jay-Z kind of took over a little bit. It was a shame what happened to him, but yeah, Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G., number 7.
Awesome stuff, Carlos. Great choice there. And my number 7's an artist that's been mentioned a couple of times already. Decided to choose a bit of different album, but I've gone with Ice Cube, and I've got NWA. Not going to say the full title of the album for obvious reasons, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just
Ethel for zagging, isn't there?
Yeah. Hill for zagging.
Yeah. But yeah, Ice Cube is quality. There's a lot of stuff with this. Again, I do need to listen to all the way through, but he's great in NWA, probably the best rapper out of all of them in NWA. Love Strata Compton. I love this album as well. And yeah, love the stuff that he done on Friday as well. He's done some great songs. And yeah, love Death Certificate as well, which I'd love to get on vinyl or CD. That'd be great to own, because I do love that album a lot. And that features one of my very favourite diss tracks, which is No Vaseline, which he goes heavy in on NWA, of course, Dr. Dre and Eazy-E and stuff like that. So yeah, great stuff. I do also love the track he done with Dr. Dre, Natural Born Killers. I think that's a banger. Yeah, so yeah, Ice Cube, number 7 for me.
Natural Born Killers has got a video as well. Awesome video.
Yeah, good video, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in ages, to be fair, but I do love it.
Probably another song you couldn't get away with these days. Like, I know it's all done light-heartedly, but some of the lyrics in there, like, you know.
Craig, do you remember the end of the video where it's basically Tupac? No, it's Tupac. He's at the end with the rifle.
Yeah.
He puts a guest appearance. Obviously, the track is Dr. Dre and Ice Cube, Natural Born Killers, and Tupac turns up right at the end of the video, which I thought was a great idea.
I think I've seen that. I don't know 100%. I'll
Yeah.
have to check it out again. But
Check the
I'm
video
sorry,
out.
I used to watch
Yeah.
that video all the time, like, because that was good, because that was my two loves, horror and rap. Because horrorcore is a thing. There is a subgenre of rap called horrorcore, like, and bands like Gravediggers and Helter Skelter. And some of the rappers, they do lean into it a little bit. Well, Eminem leans into it quite a lot, but you know, so you do get a bit of crossover between rap and horror, like.
Awesome stuff, definitely. Got Stacey over here. Pop names, rap names for each year. Scott equals Lloyd Chips. Okay, that's interesting. Got Carlos Barracuda. Carlos. We've got yeah, not bad, not bad.
A part of Outcast.
Yeah. We got Stacey saying dog rap. Woof.
Woof.
Yeah. We'll go through some of the other comments as well, Stacey. Probably leave the ones about artists towards the end, just because I want them to, just in case any of them are in our top 10, want it to be as much a surprise as possible. And some of the artists you are mentioning could be in either of our top 10s, but I will get to those towards the end. Sorry about that, Stacey. We got Stephen Moles here. Hello, mate. Been a while. Hope you're doing well.
He loves hip hop.
Is he a big hip hop fan? Is he? I didn't know that. To be fair, nice, good stuff. And wow, I think it's number 6. So, Bumper, your number 6, please.
Oh, I don't think we need to waste much time on this guy, because you definitely brought him up, Scott. I can't remember if I don't think Carlos did, but you brought him up. So I seen this artist in Cardiff, right? When we was in our 20s, there's a nightclub in Cardiff, and it said artist album launch party. And we heard on the grapevine that this artist was there, and I was like, "There's absolutely no chance of this artist is in a nightclub in Cardiff that fits 200 people." Like, and my mate was like, "Yeah, he's there. I spoke to the person, blah, 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 blah." So we all went anyway, and he was there. It was unbelievable. It was like a private showing, and that is DMX, right? So you can Google this. DMX gig in Cardiff. It was he did a gig in Cardiff, made 200 people there, because it was a nightclub. There's no one under 18, so there's no like screaming girls there or anything. Do you know what I mean? So it was quite. The atmosphere was quite thin, but I thought I was a gangster back then anyway, so I didn't really care. And I was with about 7 or 8 of my mates anyway. We all went down there, but there was no trouble in the end. It was a good crack. So yeah, we've seen DMX live, and then for the rest of my life, I've never been able to get my head around how he would sell out a 20,000 seater stadium in America, but he'd have to come to Britain to play in front of small crowds like that in nightclubs. Like, I don't know why, just to get his rep up, I suppose, or whatever, as part of his contractual obligations to do shows in the UK or something. But it was like your own personal show. He'd done all the tunes. He'd had like 2 albums out by then. He'd done like whole Lord's Prayer on the stage, like, and all. It was wild. And it was just in a local nightclub. We couldn't believe it. So it's Dark and Alice on. I love that album. That's one of my favorite albums. All the videos are amazing. It's flesh of my flesh, blood of my blood. You know, you start to get to a point where you can skip some tracks on that album, but there are good ones on there, like The Omen and whatever.
That's good, yeah.
And then like the album you pulled up is quite charty, but they're all bangers, you know what I mean? Everyone you can put on, and they're like instantly recognizable, you know, a bit like X Gon Give It To You kind of vibe, like on that album, which is the song you said, is it We Are Here, or Here We Are, or whatever?
We Right There.
Yeah, so, you know, it all kind of sounds like that. And yeah, I read his autobiography. There's not many books I've read in my life, autobiographies, but I read LL Cool J's and I read DMX's, and yeah, his life just fell apart under the weight of a crack addiction, unfortunately. Like, there's no mixing it up. So yeah, one of the big best charismas on stage, on the screen. Amazing first album, broke loads of records when he first came out for album sales and record sales, and I just love his persona. So yeah, number 6, Dark Man X.
Awesome, great choice there, Bumper. What about yourself, Carlos?
Okay, number 6 is an artist I don't think you two guys are going to have in your top 10. If you do, I'll be really surprised. For me, this artist got one of the best natural flows in mic skills. He can do sort of freestyling. He's quite smooth with R&B. Probably a little bit later on in his career, he kind of a little bit went over to the R&B side. He does the odd track every now and again, and he's one of the I'll say the top two rappers from the Juice crew. I've seen him twice. Fantastic. I've seen him in a small venue, and what actually Craig says. I mean, some rappers. I mean, I've been to big gigs, stadiums, and I've been to smaller gigs. And for me, the smaller gigs, when you can get a hip hop artist or a rap artist in touching distance, when they can just jump off the stage, like the Jazz Cafe, when you've got, 400 people max, and they're just freestyling and they're touching all the fans. It's just amazing. This guy appeared there. I'd also seen him in another part of London with Biz Markie, and I'm going to go with Big Daddy Kane.
Nice.
I mean, some of the tracks of here, Raw, Ain't No Half Step In, just rhyming with Biz, Set It Off. Those 4 tracks, if you want to hear clear rap, fast or slow, Big Daddy Kane is your man. I mean, he done that fantastic kind of versus battle with KRS-One. It wasn't a battle. They both respected each other. They took turns doing a track each, and he was fantastic on that. I mean, he's got to be in his 50s, and his breath control is still impeccable. I mean, some of his other albums, like It's a Big Daddy Thing, kind of a little bit more R&B-ish. Then he did try to bring it back a little bit more street. But yeah, Big Daddy Kane kind of gets kind of a little bit forgotten. Again, I think most sort of hip hop heads in their kind of 40s and 50s would know him, but maybe guys in their 20s and 30s probably would have heard of him. But Big Daddy Kane, phenomenal rapper, number 6.
Awesome choice, and yeah, do like Big Daddy Kane's done some great stuff. So yeah, great choice there. Next up is I love this group so much, and great rapper, big fan of the group's music. I've gone with Chuck D from Public Enemy as number 6. Yeah, absolutely lovely stuff, and I will show you the vinyl record to this one actually, because it is a nice coloured one, which is pretty cool. And see Jeff Jam recordings there, which is very nice. Would be nice if I could get it out. Got a very
definitely
nice
jealous
ring.
of all the vinyls, like, because when I was growing up, although I had tapes and CDs, like the vinyls, all the DJs had, and all, like, they were always like the things that looked the coolest. So
cheers, Bumper. Really appreciate that, mate. And yeah, I didn't actually know it was a coloured vinyl until it arrived. So that was a nice little surprise. I love this album. It's absolutely amazing. You're gonna get yours. Is great. Sophisticated bitch. Great song. It's just so funny. That one cracks me up.
Yeah, good one that.
Time Bomb's really good. That's a fun one. Public Enemy number 1, classic. Yeah, possibly my favourite. I think it's between this one and It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. I can never remember the full title of that album. It's so bloody long, but I do love that album as well. Yo Bum Rush for Show is on here, of course, which is a classic. And I do also really like Fear the Black Planet, which is a really good album. Of course, it has Fight the Power on there, which is great. Yeah, and Brothers Gonna Work It Out. So yeah, brilliant stuff. I do like Flavor Flav, but he's just there for comedic purposes. He is really good, but yeah, he's definitely prefer Chuck D for me, 100%.
I'll say one thing, Scott. He has released a couple of solo albums, Chuck D, and his first solo album is called Mr. Chuck, which I actually do have that. That is worth checking out. I think he's only got about 10 or 11 tracks. That's worth checking out. Iconic figure. Like I said, one of those guys, Ice Cube, Eazy-E, Tupac, I'll put in that sort of list. Chuck D, phenomenal. I've seen Public Enemy, fantastic to watch. If any of you guys get a chance to watch Public Enemy, they don't. I think they've done one date over here in the UK, literally just one date last year at the Royal Albert Hall, and they were charging quite a bit. But I definitely do want to see them again, because as a group, if you can get all the members there, it's something to see.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, I'll check out his solo stuff, to be fair. Sounds good. Got Stephen Mole saying, I've been a fan since the Street Sound Electro started listening from about 1980.
Electro.
Great
Nice.
stuff. Stacey says, Joy, California Love music video. Yes, definitely.
The old Mad Max rip-off.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
It's a lot of fun. It's one that I used to watch when I was younger, so I have nostalgia for it.
Again,
Stacey,
big budget, flexing their muscles again, like,
Yeah.
you know.
yeah, definitely, 100%. Thank you, Stacey. Appreciate that. Got Stephen Moles saying, listening to Mike Cannon and Stu Allen radio shows, not Westwood, though, until he joined Radio 1. Awesome stuff.
Westwood's one of those guys, you know, they say, like, you either retire a hero or you're around long enough to become the enemy. Because there was a time in the 90s, like, people take the mick out of Westwood because of the way he looks and all, but there was a time in the 90s when they were American rappers, they would only do interviews in the UK if they were doing it with Westwood. They say, I'll do it with Westwood, but I'm not doing it otherwise. So he had a bit of juice in the game in the 90s, whatever the dirty buggers in modern days, that's up to him. But, you know, Westwood, he's not quite the mug they make him out to be these days, but he hadn't really helped himself, I don't suppose. But back in the 90s, he was quite a credit to UK hip hop. Like, he did get the artist recognised, the American artist. Like,
yeah, every Fridays and Saturdays, and like Craig said, he would have the contacts. These guys like Biggie would come there. They do a bit of freestyling, and yeah, I mean, as much of a joke he was, if you go on YouTube and tap some of his radio shows, he knows his stuff. He knew his stuff back in the day.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, he slowly went into kind of like the grime sort of. He became more representing grime and stuff like that. And obviously, you know, he's been in court for other stuff, and you know, he's got a bit of a. People mock him, make a bit of a joke out of him. At the time when he did get shot, I remember when he got shot, he made a big deal out of that, didn't he? He kind of like blew up his ego even more, you know, adding quite a bit of more street credibility because he got shot. And yeah, I mean, he's a bit of a twat in some ways, but he did know his music, and like Craig said, he had the contacts. I mean, guys didn't want to go to other radio shows by him because. You know, he had quite street credibility as a DJ host.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. We've got a really good question from Stacey here saying, best 3 soundtrack songs from any 90s rap music movie album.
I had a funny feeling that was going to be coming.
Yeah.
Well,
so I thought Babs by Lady Rage is a good one. I like that. From Above the Rim, that's a great song.
God.
I'm going to go with Rock. I'm going to go with Rock Him Know the Ledge.
Yeah, Juice, cracking song.
And probably Big Daddy Kane, Enough Respect. And I'm going to say Battle by Gangsta and 8 Mile.
So I don't know if Keep Your Heads Ringing counts because it was made for the soundtrack. One day it's not on a separate album, but Keep Your Heads Ringing by Dre from Friday. That's a banging tune.
That was a good one.
But as far as using songs in movies, Last Action Hero used Cypress Hill. I remember watching The Last Action Hero when I was younger, and there was some Cypress Hill on there. I was thinking, oh yeah, happy days.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I'm going to struggle with an answer for 3 soundtrack songs. Really, I used to listen to the Friday soundtrack and the Menace to Society one and Juice. What was the other one? What was the film where they go to watch the boxing and they get chased through the streets? Or Judgment Night. That had a good soundtrack.
Oh, Judgment Night.
Yeah,
that had a good song on it with Onyx, but I just can't think of the titles. That has been so long.
Onyx.
Spawn soundtrack as well. That had a good song on with Ice Cube, fused with a bit of like trance dance metal type music. But,
I think I've got to say the Deep Cover track with Dre and Snoop. Include that one because that was a good one.
I think I'll go Battle from 8 Mile as well.
Yeah. Good
question. Really good question, definitely. Got Stephen Moles saying one of my favourite artists is Black Poet. Used to be called The Poet with Rock From. Nice.
Yeah. He tried to go at KRS-One, which wasn't a good idea.
Nah. We got Stacey saying, thanks, Carl. I sent no half stepping. Oh, nice. Oh, she also says, Big Daddy Kane also in Posse.
Is that the
Yeah, he
film?
was.
Is it the Black Western?
He was with Mario Van Peebles.
Yeah.
She also says, did you enjoy the streets? Not really. They're funny, but they're not great. They're not great.
Scotty loves it. Scotty
A
loves
bit
the
of a laugh.
streets.
It's
Not Mike
just,
Skinner, she means the streets.
yeah.
Scotty can do quite a few of his tracks really, really well.
Yeah, not too bad, to be fair, yeah.
Without diverting the conversation too much, Mike Skinner's another one who's a little bit underrated based on his look. Mine, he had a little bit of thing going on when the streets were, he had a little,
stuff.
he made some good tunes back in the day, really. So yeah, I don't mind the streets. I don't see anything embarrassed about saying you like the streets.
I think, Scott, you're going to get a karaoke request on the streets coming up pretty soon.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do it. Definitely should be quite fun. Got Stephen Miles saying a good album. Check out Style in Tone with Trussies. We younger brother TOA Rock and Special K from Tetris 3.
Yeah, he's going for some old names there.
Yeah. I've heard of most of them, but yeah, I've definitely heard of
From the
Tetris
80s.
3. Nice.
With Cool Mo D.
Nice. Brilliant stuff. Got Stacey saying scenario. Elvis lives till 2005. Sinatra lives till 2016. How many rap songs which would be the best rapper? Put Elvis with what producer? What? It's just done. Oh, fucking, I don't know. It's hard to question that.
What's that question, Scott?
I think what she's saying is put Elvis as a rapper with a certain producer who would be the best rapper out of Sinatra or Elvis. I think she's saying.
Oh, bloody
And in
hell.
2005, it was all bloody Irv Gotti doing all the Ja Rule stuff, the Murder Inc. stuff, and it was Eminem with his and Shady Records. That was all like 2005. That sort of battle between 50 and Ja Rule and all that. I think that was about then. So those were the producers working. So put Elvis with Irv Gotti. And Sinatra in 2016, I only know Kanye West these days as a producer, and I into all the other stuff. It's all too bloody space age for me these days.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Yeah, tough question there, Stacey.
Yeah.
And Stacey saying Redman better than DMX. Nice. I think that's what that symbol means anyway, that emoji.
Redman over DMX. They're both energetic rappers. I love Redman.
Redman's good.
My only slight issue with Redman is I don't like when rappers make up words just with rhymes, and Redman does that a lot. unless he means, I don't know, but he comes up with some ludicrous stuff when you look at his lyrics through a bloody telescope.
Well, he was, as he was writing them, he was on that.
The program MTV Cribs. He done one in the 90s, and they go around to his crib, and his cousins are asleep on the floor, passed out. Like they're filming.
I remember watching that one.
What's my cousin by there, passed out on the floor, and he's got a Dreamcast, a Sega Dreamcast in his toilet. Redman, he never done any of it for the money. He was hood. He's still hood now. No matter how much he earned, he's doing songs for Christina Aguilera and still living in an apartment with his cousin asleep on the floor, wrapped.
He's been doing some freestyles on Instagram.
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram.
Still sounds quite good.
Yeah, Redman, he's an awesome lyricist. I was close to having him on my list, but I just didn't bother because I don't know, not everyone can make it, can they? So
it's true.
20, like Carlos says, he'd be in my top 20 for sure.
Yeah, really good rapper, Redman. I always enjoyed Redman. And we're getting down to the nitty gritty with the top 5 now, so it's getting interesting. Cool, Number 5, Bumper.
All right, so I'm not really cheating with this because although it's a band, they have really only got the one rapper. Like I said, I don't wear this like a badge of honor or anything, but I have been an heavy weed smoker over the years, and I love the nasally tones and the gothic atmosphere of the music, and it's got some slight sort of gothic metal tones to it, I suppose. But number 5 will be Real, and he's the lead rapper in Cypress Hill. So this is my favorite album of all time. This is the third one, Temples of Boom. If you're in the right state of mind and you listen to this with your headphones on, it can freak you out. I remember my mate once texted me saying he got stoned, put this onto his headphones, and he had to turn it off because it's like all like really eerie production and all like gothic sounding, but it's just phenomenal. It's alternative rap, I know that, but I think B Real's done enough now over the years, really. Like, you know what I mean? He's featured on everybody's album. He's worked with Dre, worked with Eminem. He's done it all, B Real, in his career. So, and Black Sunday is like a phenomenal album, a start to finish album. The first Cypress Hill album is nearly a start to finish album. And the third one, this is a start to finish album, let me tell you. This has got an Ice Cube diss on as well, so I love a diss song. This has got a song on called No Rest for the Wicked. Obviously, he done a song called Ice Cube.
Yeah.
And so they diss Ice Cube on you. And also they sample Samuel L. Jackson, you know, in Pulp Fiction when he gives that speech before he shoots the guy. Now I walk the valley of the shadow of death. And that's on a song, Make a Move. And then it kicks in as soon as he shoots the guy, like. And it is just amazing. What a tune. So yeah, so Be Real is my number 5. And if we ever do albums, you can expect to see this one on there.
Nice.
I didn't mind Cypress Hill, their first 3 albums. I love the first one. I know a lot of people kind of got annoyed with his squeaky voice. I did at first when Cypress Hill first came. And I loved some of them tracks of that first album, like Hand on the Pump. I love that track, the Funky Real one. That was a good one as well.
Pigs is good as well.
Pigs as well. Yeah, I mean, he had that beef with Ice Cube where they sort of done a track each. Then, I mean, they're sort of friends now.
A lot of these beefs are just done to boost the careers. They've had a conversation before it all kicks off. Like Ja Rule and 50 Cent, you can tell that was a real kind of dislike. But like, I sometimes wonder if Jay-Z and Nas really ever really hated each other, even though the lyrics to their songs were quite cutting. I'm not surprised if they might have said to each other beforehand, you know, we'll just keep it on wax. Like, we don't want to take it to the, you know, like, I don't mind you dissing me, but we just keep it on record and we're all right. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you say, they're friends again now. Like, you know, it probably wasn't too much. Well, what it was, Friday has got a song on there that Ice Cube produced and made. The soundtrack. Have you the title song? Oh yeah, put your neighborhood in the air.
Yeah.
By Ice Cube, the lead track. That was actually a Cypress Hill tune, and Cypress Hill let Ice Cube listen to it, and he nicked the chorus and the hook up, like, you know. So that's how they fell out. But
yeah, I think didn't he come out? He come out in with that track on West Side Connection. Was it King of the Hill? King of the Hill.
Yeah, what a song!
Yeah, I mean, I love that
West
track.
Side Connection. They're pretty decent.
Yeah, I mean, he went at him quite a bit, took the mickey out of his voice and stuff. But I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, he's an easy target. Be real for a proper black rapper, isn't he? You know, he looks white for a start. He's got a nasally flow. Like someone like Ice Cube would have a field day on him, but. You know, if you're a fan of the music, you know the score. Really, B Real's been this for a long time, haven't he? So, like you say, they're all mates again now. Like,
okay, number 5. Now, my top 5. I wouldn't argue with anybody if people would say that's their greatest rapper. For me, even though my top 3 has kind of never been moved, I got to give respect to these last 5, which I think, like I say, I wouldn't argue with anybody if somebody said, "Oh, that's the greatest rapper ever." Anybody else, you know, like Jay-Z, Tupac, which I mentioned before, I have a slight little concern, and I wouldn't agree on. But each to their own. Number 5, and like. Normally in the hip hop community, they always, whenever they would rank hip hop artists, it's always a top 5. What's your top 5? Every rapper would say, "What's your top 5?" And I always used to think top 5 is really hard. Why don't you do a top 10? Top 10's, you know, get some other names in there. But you know, obviously we're doing a top 10. But top 5 now down to the nitty gritty. This artist, I got to be honest. His first album, a lot of people would say that's the greatest hip-hop album ever. I disagree. I actually prefer his second album. And give me 6 months ago, I would have had this guy around about number 8 or 9. But the last couple of months, I've been listening to quite a few of his albums that I never really listened to properly. Some of his later albums. He's returned with an album just before Christmas last year with DJ Premier, The Light Years, and I'm going to go with Nas. This is the anniversary edition of Illmatic, which a lot of
Nice.
people would say that's the greatest hip hop album and Nas's best album. I agree. I mean, some great tracks on this represent New York State of Mind. One of, if I was to do a greatest album of 20 tracks, that track would definitely be on there. You know, the beat of DJ Premier. But I actually prefer It Was Written.
Halftime's good on that first album as well. No, that's good album.
But this one, It Was Written, I think this one's a better album. It's just a bit more complete for me.
Nice.
I mean, still Illmatic, another good album, obviously with the Ether diss. And even this album, Hip Hop Is Dead, I always think this one's quite underrated. But Nas, like I say, he's still going today. Longevity, and even on that DJ Premier album with called The Light Years, he still sounds crisp, motivated. He's still in love with hip hop. So I think anybody got to have him in your top 10, no doubt. Nas, number 5.
We got Stephen Moles saying, have you any of you bought Nas and DJ Premier's new album? What do you think about it, Carlos? Like, you got it, didn't you?
Yeah, it's got its moments. Kind of a lot of people sort of, they're either hating it or disliking it. A lot of people blaming it, the production and the beats that DJ Premier used. I think it's a fairly sort of mature album. It does have some bangers. It does have some slow tracks. And I think it's a good, solid album. Yeah, I mean, you know, you're not going to get DJ Premier of the, you know, the early 90s. It's hard to replicate that. But Nas still sounds really, really good. I'd like to see him do another album. I mean, I've heard rumours that DJ Premier is going to do an album with AZ. But The Light Years, yeah, I think it's worth picking up. It's a good album. Quite short. It's quite, you know, I think 15, 16 tracks. There's a lot of short tracks. I think there's only 2 or 3 tracks on there that goes over 3.5 minutes, I think, Scott, wasn't there?
Yeah, it's a short album, 4 tracks on there.
I think there was a track on there called Writers. I think that was about 4.5 minutes. But yeah, it was a good album with Nas and DJ Premier.
Awesome stuff, Carlos. Great number 5. My number 5 has actually crept in there over last year or so. Never was a massive fan of him when I was younger, but there was a couple songs that I'd like. Really enjoy the first album, but this album, there isn't a skippable song on it, and it is Eminem. Marshall Mathers LP. Fucking love this album. It is so good. There's not a single song I would skip on it. Stands a classic. I think everyone's heard that song featuring Dido. It's just so iconic. The Way I Am, which I can actually do pretty good version of that, to be fair. I love that song as well. Will Sim Shady is great. Marshall Mathers' third track is really good. You got Mentally Ill from Amityville. What a song. Love that one. I love the line in that. This is Detroit. This is motherfucking Hamburger Hill. This is
Sticky Fingers is on that song as well. I love Sticky Fingers. Used to be in on it. He got a good album. He could have made my list if he only didn't. If he had more than one album, like, you know what I mean? But
yeah, Sticky Fingers was good from Onyx. I agree. He's done some great stuff. And of course, you got Kim, which is a really dark song, really disturbing. But I love that song. Absolutely love it. Then you got the iconic Criminal, which I think most Eminem fans love that song. So
Favourite
good.
Eminem track, that one.
Classic. So yeah, if it wasn't for his later stuff, he probably would even be a bit higher, to be fair. But a lot of his later stuff I'm not overly keen on. But when he's in his prime, fantastic. Comedic Eminem is my favourite kind of Eminem. And yeah, he is good when he's aggressive as well. He can do that well. He can do a lot of things really well, to be fair. And his writing skills are really good, to be fair. So he has been a top 5 for that reason alone for me. But yeah, number 5 is Eminem.
I think with that Marshall Mathers LP, like whether you liked rap or not, when that came out, I remember being in my local music store. There's like a queue of 10 people on a Saturday, and if you looked in their hand, no matter what CD they all had that Eminem album. So they might have had like Iron Maiden, so Eminem. They might have had Andrew Botticelli, so Eminem. But I was just looking, and all these people had the Eminem album in their hand. It was mad how that album came out, and just everyone was just on it.
Yeah, it's iconic, that's for sure. It's got some great songs. Got Stacey saying Ghostface, Method Man, tough battle. Yeah, 2 good rappers for sure. Agree with that.
Most people prefer Most people like not prefer Ghostface, but they hold Ghostface in high regard. His album Supreme Clientele. A lot of people say that's like the best rap album ever made. I don't like his flow. I find a lot of his stuff don't seem to rhyme, or it rhymes awkwardly.
Yeah.
But he has got, you don't get me wrong, he's got a handful of songs that I do like. But I wouldn't put him over Method Man, just for my opinion. Maybe that's because I haven't got the delicate ear for it. Maybe I do prefer a more simple rapper, but I still prefer Method Man.
Yeah, totally get that. Yourself, Carlos, more Method Man?
Yeah, I'll go for Method Man in that. Like I did say earlier, at the Wu-Tang Clan, I think my favourite was Raekwon. Even though I did like ODB, I thought he was hilarious.
Oh, dirty bastard, yeah.
Yeah.
The good thing about rappers, this is another thing I've always loved about rap, especially in the 90s, is that if you were in with them before they were famous, it don't matter how crap you were, they took you with them. There's a lot of famous people these days who would stab their nan in the back to get up on the stage. But rappers, if you were their friends before they got famous, like Bizarre, he can rap. He's got no place in a rap studio. But because he's mates with Eminem and he's been mates with him since he was a kid, Eminem's like, well, you can come with me. Do you know what I mean? And that's what they like, and that's what I really like about it. And it's the same with the Wu-Tang ODB. Like, he was just there just for the laugh. He probably thought we'd take him with us because he's nuts and he just makes us laugh. A bit like that guy in the Happy Mondays, Bez, like he does nothing but just dance around on the stage. And that's what I love about rappers is they always look after their own. Like they don't say, "I'll see you." Like, no, I made it. You can piss off. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm sure there is some cases like that, but the majority of the time they'd always scratch your back if you were friends with them, whether you could rap or not.
That's true. Yeah,
definitely awesome stuff. I'd probably go Method Man as well, to be fair. Got Stephen Miles saying, I used to own a lot of CDs and vinyl, had with turntables and everything, but lost it all due to having a fire. Oh, Jesus. Sorry to hear that,
wow,
mate.
Shit.
Oh, and theft in 20... Oh, jeez. That's rough.
Damn.
Hope you get most of it back, mate. Definitely. Got Common Geordie Phil Geek here. Hello, mate. Good to see you here.
Just tuning in.
Afternoon, Jets. Just new to your channel, so just sitting back at the back listening. Oh, thank you, mate. Really appreciate that. And he says, Old Dirty Bastard was my favourite. Top stuff, mate. Yeah, he's funny for sure. Top 4 now, which is really, really good. What's your number 4, Bumper?
I haven't got a CD to show you, unfortunately, and he has already been mentioned. So I don't really need to waste too much time on him. You might be a bit surprised because you've all been talking him up as a bit of a slightly better producer and a bit of a nursery rhyme rapper. But number 4 has got to be Easy for me. Like, I've listened to him since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. He makes me laugh every time I hear him rap. Like, even my son, when he was growing up, my son, like, he wouldn't listen to rap. Like, he used to find it a bit offensive, like, because they're all a bit more PC these days. But Easy, he would listen to that album you got there. Easy does it. There's one song at the start. There's a woman playing on a piano, and he goes, "Bitch, shut the fuck up, get there." And my son thinks that's the funniest thing ever. Like, and in the song, there's a lyric. He goes, "He shot, I shot. As you can see, I cold smoked his ass." So my son used to just walk around saying that all the time. So, and like that album, Straight Off the Streets, was amazing. The lyric where he's on about, I'm in the window, watching him play Nintendo and all this, like, so, and I don't care what anyone says, like, I don't want to waste much time on it, but he didn't contract AIDS from having sex, even if he was a dirty little bugger. Shouldn't I give him the dirty needle there? I don't care what anyone says. So that's the biggest shame about it all, is that if they were all still alive now, they would have got over all their beefs and they would all be
Yeah.
making music together. Well, most
Yeah.
of them, do you know what I mean? And that's what's sad. Like if you had Pac here now and Biggie here now and Eazy-E, and you had Dre producing for them now, like it would be wild, wouldn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
But
yeah.
so yeah, so my number 4, mate. And like I said, I know some people think he's a nursery rhyme rapper, but I love him. I've always loved him. And my favorite lyric ever is on that. You know the EP you are about, the Dre Dis EP. It's on 187 Killer, when he says, "Toss you in the back of the trunk with the other punk, smoking death row like I smoke a Philly blunt." I always quote that all the time, like, and fuck waiting for a payday, get an AK. That's wicked lyrics, that is. So Eric is number 4 for me, like, because you see me smiling now, like, just thinking about the little blinder. So yeah, he's number 4 on my list, Eric. I love him.
Yeah, I can't argue that. He's great.
I love that album. It's a great album, that album. I mean, I mean, say that The Chronic was a better album, but I think Street Credibility was definitely with Eazy-E. I think all the hip hop heads, they knew who the better rapper was, and I think there was a lot of. I mean, Dre was a lot. He was fake, really. There he was with a baseball cap, smoking, and it was a bit of an act. But Eazy-E, he was a lot more real. So I definitely go along with that.
Because they were mostly school. They were like school kids, weren't they? But Eazy wasn't. They got Eazy in because he had a bit of money, and he was a local dealer, like, so they got him involved. And the funny thing about NWA is, it was like a perfect storm. They all came together with their own little individual bits that they all needed. They couldn't have done it without one another. I know the second album haven't got Ice Cube in, but obviously they had a bit more clout then. Like they could just get someone else in. But in the build up, they all kind of complemented each other. I can imagine them all turning up in a garage, like, and like one of them's got the beat player, one of them's got the microphone, one of them's got this, like, you know what I mean? And they put it all together.
Yeah, the movie. I always have a lot of fun watching the movie CB4, which is kind of a mixtape.
That's fun.
In how NWA came together, and even the clothing that they wore and stuff like that. I mean, they were great times. I mean, like I say, Eazy, for me, he wasn't the best rapper, but he was my favourite in the group, no doubt about it. And when he had that beef with Death Row, I was always more of a Eazy-E fan. And
100%.
I didn't like it in that movie that they tried to make out in Straight Outta Compton. Obviously, Dre was like the executive producer, saying that Eazy, he was like, he was broke, he was living at his mum's. I mean, Ruthless Records was doing quite well. It had artists, and it's just the way that Dre kind of made the story look, and I thought that was all false.
Really, living at their mums at that age, like, it's not that big a deal, is it? Really, they're only in their late teens, early 20s, weren't they? Like,
but I mean, I think probably when the beef was going on, they only lived around the corner, and it was kind of more like Dre putting his head down, and that was it. I agree with Bumper. If his fate didn't have happened, I think they probably would have got back together again after Dre came out of that contract and away from Suge Knight. Chances are they would have been making more music together. That probably would have happened. Just a shame. I mean, I heard that certain Cuban Eazy met before he passed away, a couple of months before. So, there was talk that they were going to come together for an album, but it never materialized. Obviously, Eazy had health issues, and what happened. But like I say, I love listening to Eazy-E. I explained my reasons why I didn't put him in my top 10.
In CB4, when he does his little cameo, like, that's the Eazy I remember. Like, he looks healthy, he looks cool. That's the last time I ever saw Eazy, and like, and he was the person I loved. Anything after that, then he was just ill. Do you know what I mean? Like, so in CB4, like, that's the last captured moment of him really looking himself like.
I remember playing the NWA albums in my gym, and not everybody used to like listening to the hip hop. And it was an independent gym where we could just play our own sort of CDs.
Yeah.
And you always used to get one or two people asking, "That guy, he's got a unique voice. Who is he?" And they
Yeah.
always wanted to know who Eazy-E was because of his squeaky sort of voice. And it was just a unique voice that stood out from the group. And
9 times out of 10, he done the last verse as well, didn't he? So there was always this build
Yeah.
of anticipation to
last,
get to him. Like,
always the last verse or the smallest verse. I
yeah.
mean, even the albums that he put, he always used to feature a lot of other artists.
Oh,
And
yeah. Well, but he brought Bone Thugs through, didn't he? So
yeah, he would just drop a verse here and there. The album would always feature this artist and that artist, and I kind of liked him for that. That he was trying to bring in new artists to his label. And if you imagine if he had stayed around, he could have been massive.
Oh,
Absolutely massive.
Definitely.
Number 4, I got to include this guy, even though Bumper didn't. It's kind of needles me when people say he's clearly overrated. He's only in people's lists because of the way he looks. Forget where you're from, how you look. This guy can rap. There's no doubt about it. We are talking Eminem. I've got to be honest, when this album first came out, one of my friends, God rest his soul, he was a big hip hop fan. He would force that album onto me, and I said, no. After listening to Vanilla Ice and shit like that, I refuse to listen to wannabe rappers. So I only listened to that album. We had a county library in my local town, and I actually hired this album out. It was probably a pound or two for a week. Listened to the album. And I got to be honest, I was blown away with it. And I thought, this guy could rap. And then when the second album came out, this one, I remember buying this album literally when it was on sale. 10 out of 10 album in my favourite top 10 albums of all time. It's one of, like Scott said, it's one of them albums you can play from start to finish. I love Eminem when he's being comedic. The first D12 album's hilarious when he's like going at people like Fred Durst, R&B singers, Christina Aguilera. I love all that. Even the Limp Bizkit groups as well. Insane Clown Posse as well. You had to go at them. I even liked some
skits.
I mean, I even liked the Relapse album, which I think is a little bit underrated. How could you not have a top 10 without Eminem? Like I say, my top 5, any of these guys that I'm talking about, if anybody would say that's their favourite rapper, I wouldn't argue. So, yeah, Eminem, number 4. Yeah, great rapper. And I have seen him, and he's great on stage as well.
I can imagine he is, yeah. That's great. Awesome choice there, Carlos. My number 4 is one, and it's been mentioned already twice, and it is Nas. Yeah. And this is my favourite album of his. This is this album that I wouldn't skip a single song on. New York State of Mind. What a song that is. Classic. Absolutely love it. Life's a Bitch I love as well. The World Is Yours, which is another classic. I love that as well. Halftime. Represent. Great song. And then Hard to Tell. Yeah, what an album. Also, Stillmatic has some good stuff like Destroy and Rebuild It. I think that's another good diss track. That's fun. And Ether, which is quite brutal lyrically, but I do love that song in all honesty. And his new album from last year was pretty good. I really liked it. I thought it was really good, yeah. Light Years is a great album. So yeah, Nas is number 4 for me.
I didn't think you'd be such Nas fans. I gotta be honest. I'm glad to see him making a list because I do think he's underrated, and I definitely think doing his Jay-Z beef, Jay-Z may have come out of it a little bit on top. Not with the records, but just being more popular and having more record sales. So, I do think that Nas is. I remember having an argument all the years ago with some guy from Bradford, like both drunk, and he was trying to say like how Jay-Z was better, and I was arguing for Nas. I mean, my views have completely changed now, but it was a thing like people did used to take it quite personally.
Oh, yeah.
you like Biggie and they were a Tupac fan, they'd be, oh, you want to do, or you want to make it all like. So imagine what the boiling pot was like in America. If people were defensive about their rap artists in Britain, imagine what it was like in America. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, even worse.
I've seen Eminem live a couple of times. Milton Keynes Bowl, that was all right, but the sound went.
I was there at Milton Keynes as well.
I went to Brixton Academy way back in the day when the second album dropped, but I've never been so scared in all my life.
Oh, wow.
And then the big one he did in Wembley, not so, all them years ago, like. But,
awesome, great stuff, Bumper. Got Stephen Moles saying one of my favourite gigs I went to back in the day was Salt and Pepper with MC Duke as support actor at Manchester Apollo.
Oh yeah, the British.
Great night.
MC Duke, he was British. Yeah, I remember him.
MC Duke, bloody hell.
Yeah. He says check out CIA Criminals in Actions EP, the Ice Cube and World Class Wrecking Crew, Dr. Dre and GJ Yeller.
Yeah, I remember the World Class Wrecking Crew. Yeah, it's pretty decent stuff.
Awesome. I'll have to check that one out, to be fair. He also says one album that is underrated, Downtown Silence. Downtown Silence. If you like Third Base, you will like this album. I've not heard of that.
Third Base. Yeah, that's another band I haven't heard of in years.
Yeah, it's a lot of Third Base.
And this is where it got really difficult. We're talking top 3 now, so this is going to be interesting. Number 3, Bumper.
So if you had told me 10, 15 years ago I was putting this guy in my top 3, I probably would have laughed at you, like, do you know what I mean? But how he's grown on me over the years, especially one album that I just listen to in the car just from start to finish all the time. Like it never comes out to the CD player anymore, I gotta be honest. And the guy uses charisma. He's like a proper businessman. He lived it when he was younger. Or he wasn't gang banging, but he grew up in a rough part of New York. Like I said, he went to school with Biggie and DMX. He's always been a hustler. You can tell that. And he does the one thing. I don't know if I said this before we went on air or not, but my favorite thing about a rapper is someone who can paint pictures in my head. So when I'm listening to the tune, I can sort of visualize it as well. And so number 3 for me has got to be the Jigger Man. The Blueprint, this album is phenomenal. One of the first albums produced by Kanye West, although he did do Scarface is the Fix first, which is an amazing album. I love Scarface. A Scar Mob could have made my list as well, like you said earlier, didn't you? But awesome rapper. So yeah, so Jay-Z, The Blueprint. I got a couple of other Jay-Z albums. I don't really like this one that much, but I bought it thinking I did. I like the Black Album, which is one of the new albums, like Reasonable Doubt, the one you got with Ain't No, like the one I got with Foxy Brown, tune. But this album is the one for me. Like I didn't even like this album. I was all for Nas. This is the problem. I used to be a big Nas fan, and when the beef happened, I used to be fuck Jay. I'm not listening to him anymore. I'm only listening to Nas. He don't know what he's on about. AIDS victim, big lip AIDS victim. But yeah, just letting it go on me now. And when you get older, you lose all that sort of. I'm not listening to him because of this. I'm not listening to him because of this. You just listen to the music you like, and the beats on this, the lyrics. He's just at the top of his game on this, Jay-Z. He really is at the pinnacle of his game. He just starts hooking up with Beyonce as well, who's like the hottest bloody chick in the game as well. He just his face with that album, Jay-Z, and he haven't looked back since. And all these rumors with all the Puff Daddy stuff and all that, I don't believe any of that bollocks. Like, these guys came from the hood. They didn't come from a rich background that would revolve around them being involved in any kind of fucking, dirty bloody whatever. I'm not saying you can't judge everyone. Everyone's got secrets behind closed doors, but Jay-Z, he don't strike me as the sort of guy who's got much in his closet, really, apart from a few drug deals or, so number 3 for me is going to be the Jigger Man. It wouldn't have been a long time ago, but now it is. I'd love to go and see him live. I missed the chance when he was live a few years ago because I was stubborn. But yeah, my first favourite rapper now, the Jigger Man.
I got to say, what Craig actually said, Bumper actually said, I'm the other way around. At the time, I was more for Jay-Z, and now I find it a little bit difficult to listen to his stuff, and I kind of more listen to kind of more of Nas's stuff. So it's funny over time how music tastes do sort of differ. I mean, I always was like a fan of that Takeover song because of the beat behind it, and when Jay-Z dropped it, I was like, shit, man, he went hard on him. But then obviously when Mars Return with Ether, the more times I listen to that, I'm like, fuck, he did not hold back. He was like really going at him because like his career was on the line, really, and both of their careers were really escalated during that beef. I mean, you get it on YouTube when some people were trying to do these videos who came out on top. Between those two guys, nobody came out on top because they still were making albums and sort of outselling what they were doing before, and still known now. So it didn't damage their career. I mean, some sort of rap battles and beefs, some rappers have kind of destroyed the other guy, and their careers have never sort of been the same. But not the case with Jay-Z. Yeah, I mean, with Jay-Z and Nas, not the case.
It's like you said as well earlier about lyrics, like with Jay-Z, he doesn't have to force his lyrics to sound gangster. He's got that natural ability to say stuff and it just sounds cool. And it's like effortless for him. Like, he won't stand there and say, I'm the number one gangster, mate, you ain't. But he'll put that into a more kind of like, I don't know how to say it, just into a more like, a better way with his lyrics. He'll rap that he's the best, but he don't sound quite as conceited as just saying, I'm the best, you know what I mean? Like, he's very subtle with it.
When he first came out, I first heard him on the Big Daddy Kane album, Daddy's Home. There was a track on there called Bust a Move. It was ODB, Big Daddy Kane, Shaheem, and Jay-Z. Jay-Z is on there with a kind of real fast style with his head shaved. And he completely changed his rap style by the time he done Reasonable Doubt. For the better. I mean, he can rap fast. He's quite versatile, but for me, some of his latest stuff, I'm not a fan of. Again, a little bit too much R&B stuff with Beyonce, but it is what it is. He's still in my top 10 anyway.
Awesome, great stuff.
Okay, number 3. I'm going to go with a guy who I've literally grew up listening to, and I have seen him. He doesn't make many UK appearances, not nowadays. A movie star as well. When I first listened to the first album, it was actually in my technology class. Somebody gave us the tape, and I played it, and I was like, damn, this guy is 17 years old, and he's just put a rap album. We are talking about LL Cool J.
Nice.
This was the album that got me interested. I mean, he was ahead of its time, where a lot of these rappers who were coming out, they were in their sort of late 20s, mid 20s, early 20s. There we have a teenager, one of the biggest rap stars. I mean, obviously Bigger and Deffer, another great album. Mama Said Knock You Out. I get it. So some people, they kind of question some of the stuff that he does. They like to see LL Cool J doing sort of more street orientated stuff. Obviously that track, I Need Love, it's hip hop R&B done in a sort of a taste, in a sort of decent sort of way. I mean, a lot of these hip hop R&B tracks nowadays, like Drake does, are really unbearable. But LL Cool J can do it right. I mean, obviously this album, Mr. Smith, as a company, I mean, he's doing a track here with
Boys to Men. Yeah, what's that?
Which is
Hey Lover, that's the one, isn't it?
Yeah, Hey Lover. And,
that's the tune, that's the one I was trying to think of earlier.
That was a popular stuff. That was a popular tune, and I mean, I've got kind of bootleg albums where he's doing kind of like a lot of the stuff that he never released, and obviously the new album, this one, which was okay, and obviously the big track on this was actually the one with Eminem, which was like Murdergram Part 2. I did not think that would be a wise move, so LL going rap fast like Eminem, but by God, I think he more or less outshines Eminem. I think a lot of people, when that tune came out, were really surprised that LL could sort of put the words like he did. Just a shame that there wasn't more kind of hip hop tracks in that album, The Force. Let's see what he does in his next album. I just worry that with LL, he kind of does more artistic albums. He's kind of gone away from street orientated hip hop. I know he has his radio station, radio program, Rock the Bells. He's still in love with hip hop. I don't know if his movie career has kind of gone sort of a little bit quiet, but yeah, I mean, LL Cool J, whether you're old school or new school, this guy has still stood, you know, the time. He really, really has. I mean, you can see why he's been sort of introduced into the sort of rock and roll Hall of Fame, LL Cool J,
Yeah.
you know, with other great hip hop acts. Yeah, a great rapper and hip hop artist, LL Cool J, number 3.
And the thing is with LL
Awesome.
Cool J as well, because I read his book, and a lot of it is art imitating life, but LL Cool J has actually been through some major stuff, like his ex, his missus, his father or his father-in-law ever turned up at an house once and shot his grandfather with a shotgun, tried to murder his mother.
Oh,
And
gee,
everything,
yeah.
like, you know what I mean, right in front of his eyes. And growing up, he was from the street. So I had this argument with someone on Twitter before. I don't know how you feel about this, right? I think rap music was better back in the 90s because the artists, they came up from the street. It was an escape for them. Like, they used rap as an escape. Now it's taught in the classroom. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Owning their skills in the classroom, and everything's like computer, what you could do on the computer with the sound and your voice and all this. It didn't need all that back in the day. You needed the experiences, the street life. And people are laughing and saying, oh, don't be so stupid, you know. Rappers are just as good now, whether they actually do what they say or whether they don't and all. And I know a lot of it was sensationalized for music. Do you know what I mean? 50 Cent's a prime example. The guy did get shot 5 times, like, you know, over a drug deal or whatever. So some of it is like they were living their life before they got, and you can hear that in their music. Do you know what I mean? But these plonkers, like, we try and be gangster. The Island Boys, have you seen them? They're the ones that make me laugh. The Island Boys.
I've heard of them.
But yeah, that's right. Rap now, because they haven't got the experiences, and the world's a different place anyway. This is what Eminem says. This is why Eminem says people don't like my music anymore. But what they don't understand is I can't rap the lyrics I used to rap because I'll be cancelled straight away because nobody wants to hear me dissing. The world's not the same as it used to be. Like, no one will laugh if I call Britney Spears a twat. They'll all think I'm the twat for calling her a twat. You know what I mean? Typical audience for them these days. That's why his music's a lot more generalized. But
I mean, it's definitely changed. I totally get what you're saying. I mean, like, hip hop now, it's a business.
Exactly.
Back in the 80s and 90s, it wasn't a business. You know, it wasn't built up on the look. You had to have mic skills. You had to be real to sort of get over. Like, now, you could have a type of voice, you could have a type of look, you could have the heavy production, and you could be a lot better than you actually are. So that's kind of my argument why hip hop was better back then. You know, these hip hop artists, they had to battle rap. You know, a lot of the guys that I've mentioned, they're sort of major rap artists that got involved in rap beefs, word for word, bar for bar. You know, these days they don't do those sort of types of records. I mean, that's why I love the hip hop of the 80s and 90s, where they would have a battle record, a battle record or track on an album. Nowadays, it's not wise to do that. Producers don't want that. They just want that as like a track on the radio or like a bootleg CD or tape or whatever. That's a part of hip hop that should still be included. You know, I like, you know,
I agree.
You know, rappers to go up against each other. You know, I mean, they've always mentioned this thing called versus. You're never really going to get, you know, well-known rappers going at each other, bar for bar, trying to rip shreds at each other. They wouldn't really allow that. You know, had that concept been available on a big budget on the social platform back in the day, it definitely would have worked. I mean, sometimes it was always word of mouth. You heard, oh, so-and-so's battled on so-and-so. He like bum rushed the show and jumped on the stage and he pushed him off the stage and he outdone him on. You don't really hear that now. It's not really part of hip hop, which is a real shame. And I kind of miss that element in hip hop. And, you know, like what Bumper says, I totally agree with what he says. It's just not the same anymore.
I'd have to agree. I'd say hip hop now is a bit shit, to be honest, in my personal opinion. But there we go.
But
Yeah,
my son will tell you it's amazing. See, my son, who's like
yeah,
17, he'll tell you all these artists are amazing who I've never heard of. And then I try and get him to listen to something from the 90s, and he'll say, nah, I don't like this. He'll go on him over time, don't get me wrong, you know.
yeah.
But, yeah, I'm just glad I was born in the year I was born in. I got to be fair. Like,
It's just
Yeah.
it's an era thing. That's all it is.
yeah, that's all it is. It is when you were lucky enough to be born.
I'm just glad I grew up with the older stuff, to be fair. Yeah.
Well, luckily you live in a world now where you can type an artist into YouTube and you can get a away. When I was younger, like the Lost Boys, a rap group, the Lost Boys, they dropped this song called Renee. It was awesome. I heard it once and could never find it again. Like I couldn't just go on YouTube and just type in Renee, the Lost Boys, and listen to it. And now it blows my mind. And I couldn't have, in the 90s, couldn't get it. Like there was no single, couldn't pre-order an album from anywhere. Like it was just.
I've heard the Lost Boys. There's a couple of songs I know. They've done some good songs.
He's a good rapper, but the other guy died, so
that's why he died early.
He died on Mr. Cheech's birthday, the other rapper's birthday as well. So that's a bit sad for the guy. That member died on his birthday. But they like the Lost Boys. They had 2 good albums back in the day. He was a good MC, the main guy. But it was just hard to get the songs back then. And the other one was Cool G Rap on the Run. I love that song. That song makes me want to make a movie because it's like a movie. He's on the run from these Italian mobsters. I don't know if you ever heard it. Cool G Rap on the Run, but it is like a film on song. Oh, it's amazing, but you can never get it anywhere years ago. But now I can just say it to my Alexa, and it comes on like that. So.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. And my number 3 is someone that could go to number 2 at some point if I listen to more of his music. But I've really got into his stuff over the last couple of years or so. Great rapper, writing skills off the charts, freestyling, absolutely excellent, such a great rapper, and it is KRS-One.
Wow.
Yeah, fantastic rap artist, really grown on me. I didn't hate him when I was young. I just didn't know a whole lot of his stuff. I knew obviously Sound of the Police, which is actually a song that's grown on me over time. I do like that song now. I think I've listened to I've Got Next and his second album, which I think is called The Reality off the top of my head, which is a really good album, and I Got Next is great as well. But out of ones I've listened to so far, this is my favourite, his debut solo album. And yeah, it's got some great songs on there. I like Bad Mad Crew. Yeah, love that one. And you've also got Boom Bap, original rap. Yeah, that's a great one. I love that. And P is Still Free. That makes me laugh, that song. I love that one. Great song.
I love that track.
Yeah, it's a great album, it is. And like I say, a lot of his lesser known stuff is probably some of my favourite stuff as well, like his underground freestyling and stuff like that, because he's got some great skills, does KRS-One. So yeah, he's got to be number 3 for that reason alone. And like I say, if I listen to a lot more of his stuff and enjoy a lot more of it, he could possibly go into number 2, but number 3 for now. And of course, IMAMCRU 1 2. Good song as well.
Step Into a World, I always remember him dropping in the 90s. Like, that's a good song, Step Into a World or Step Into the World.
Love the video of that.
Yeah, good video. Good, like, I don't know what the word is. Like, the music is like whimsical in it, like, you know.
It was Debbie Harry taking off Debbie Harry.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Rapture.
Yeah, the Rapture, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, Step Into a World. What a tune. That's one of his best for me.
I've never really been into KRS-One. Maybe I should have a listen. I've only heard a handful of songs like Step Into a World and Sound of the Police, really. Like.
I recommend some of his other stuff. He's definitely done some bangers for sure. Got Stephen Milestone, one album that I used to own on CD, which is very rare. Antoinette, Who's the Boss? I think I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah, Antoinette the Boss, yeah. Female
awesome.
Rapper.
That's another thing you don't get these days. The female rappers like you used to get in the 90s, like Rage and Queen Latifah and someone ever like they were.
Some of my favourite MCs were Roxanne Shante, MC Light, Queen Latifah.
MC Light, that's it. Yeah.
Lady of
MC
Rage.
Light.
Lady of Rage, yeah.
And they could rap. Even
Yeah,
Little
exactly.
Kim
They
didn't
weren't
mind,
just
but
gimmicks.
all this Nicki Minaj and Cardi B shit. Fucking hell.
It's more about how
Not
big your
good.
ass is and how many silicone implants you can get in your ass
Oh,
these days.
Jesus. It's not
lyrics.
it's not how good their lyrics are, it's how big their bust is and how fake
Yeah.
their lips are. Bloody hell.
Like Cardi
Not
B, I
good.
seen her the other day. She had these heels on. She couldn't even walk. And I'm thinking, how is that even comfortable? Like, if that was Little Kim or Foxy Brown back in the day, she probably have a pair of pumps on. Like, do you know what I mean? So completely different, weren't they? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. He also says Source Money is a very underrated artist. One of my favourite tracks, Pre-Game, featuring Jay-Z. I think I've heard that a long
Pre-game's a
time
wicked
ago.
tune.
Yeah.
Awesome. Got our Anthony saying Carlos has a cute cat.
Yeah. He's jumping about.
Yeah. Got Stephen Walsh saying Cannabis is an artist he very about now. I like Cannabis. He's done some good stuff. I got one of his albums.
LL Cool J ended his career though, didn't he?
Yeah.
He ended his
Yeah.
commercial career. Eminem gave him a bit of a dissing as well, but he was already kind of finished by then. He tried to go with Eminem to get back on the scene, but he'd already LL Cool J had already done him anyway. Like, so he was quite a good rapper though, fair dues. When this was his first album. But yeah, he didn't make it.
They did make up.
As well, I think. So
they did make up, didn't they? The two of them. But yeah, I mean Eminem. I mean that disc record, Second Round Knockout, it was a good one. But come on, I mean LL Return to the Ripper. I mean he tore shreds off him. He really did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Uncle J definitely won that battle.
You got to know to pick your battles with, haven't you? Like, you know, he probably thought, I go with Eminem because he's white, he's an easy target, and he didn't realise. The same with LL Cool J, he probably thought, oh, he's only an R&B artist these days, like he's not going to come back with much. And there you go, look, you got served, so your career's over.
Yeah. Cannabis fought with the wrong rap artist, for sure. But anyway, top two. Now this is a bit very nitty gritty stuff now towards the end. What's your number two choice, Bumper?
Well, give you the quick squibble first. So, like, there was a time not so long ago when I used to talk down about this guy because I think I used to listen to him so much when I was younger. And as I got older, I kind of thought, should I really be listening to this music? You know, do I really sort of go along with these ideologies he's coming up with anymore? And then, you know, then recent times, then I just thought, why do I care about any of that? Like, I just want to listen to the songs. They're amazing. So my second favorite rapper of all time, I had to admit it to myself before anyone else, it's got to be Tupac. So I've only got these two albums. These ain't the best. This one I just got cheap in charity shop when I was looking in the charity shop. And Thug Life is one of my favorite albums of all time. So I did buy it purposely when I got a CD player in the car. Like, so yeah, it has to be Pac. Like I said, I was a little bit embarrassed to say I was such a big Pac fan maybe 15 years ago because he had his issue with rape and the world's a bit more PC now and his lyrics are quite scathing and he's aggressive in his raps. And then I just thought, you know what, it's tough. I like it. Do you know what I mean? Best albums ever. Me Against the World is one of the best albums ever. Machiavelli is one of the best albums ever. And then people can say he's not the best lyricist and he's maybe a better actor. And I agree with all that, but he's just the charisma. And I'm, you know, like Carla says, a lot of people come on to him after he died, but not me. Like I remember MTV breaking the story and jumping on my bike as fast as I could down to my mate's house and saying, put the news on now, like this is unbelievable, Pac's died. Like, and it was only when All Eyes on Me came out. We don't really listen to Me Against the World before that, but we were big fans of him just from that. Like, it was the deal. Like, and I got a Tupac tattoo on my shoulder that I had done in Ibiza when I was about 17. Like, and I lauded him for so long. I think I started to go off him there, maybe because of that, or because I just thought maybe I should grow up a bit. But I just fallen back in love with him again now. So yeah, my number two is gotta be the Pac-Man. So Tupac, yeah.
Awesome stuff, Bumper. Great shout there. Carlos, your number two.
Number two. Yeah, I mean this guy, he kind of modified hip hop rapping style, the lyricist style, the way he kind of breaks down his raps in bars and sections. I mean, he changed the game. I mean, obviously hip hop at the time, the rappers or the MCs were kind of like party rappers, you know, hip to the hop, you don't stop. It was pretty basic, really, until this guy came on the scene, and we're talking about the 18th letter, Rakim.
Oh, I thought that was going to be your number one.
And I think, obviously, he's had spells away. I mean, this is the second album, Follow the Leader. I mean, that's a great track. Lyrics of Fury, Microphone Fiend. I mean, he's done a couple of albums, 4 albums with Eric B. Then he returned and done his solo stuff with the 18th letter.
Nice.
He has dropped an album out, I think, 2 years ago. Or was it the year before? It's only, disappointing. It's only got 8 tracks. Unbelievable. I mean, like I say, the guy's flow. It's totally unforgivable if Rakim is not in the top 10 for me, or if no one says that they've not heard of him. Again, maybe it's kind of through a time where people kind of wasn't brought up in that era. Maybe go back and check some of his catalogue out, the way he puts his words together. I mean, that video he did, Follow the Leader, he's actually rapping, and the guy is actually shaving his beard. I mean, I just think, how could anybody be doing that? I mean, he's lathered up with shaving foam, and this guy's with a switchblade, and he's rapping, and that's just unreal when you check out that video. It's just a shame he hasn't really put out more sort of albums in his career. I mean, you can get some of his bootleg stuff. This is kind of like a bootleg album with J Love, where a lot of the stuff was unreleased or kind of remixes. So yeah, Rakim, number 2, phenomenal rapper. I had to put him on the list. And a rapper that I missed the opportunity to go and see 2-3 years ago, and I kind of really regret it because he doesn't come over to the UK a whole lot.
Yeah.
I think Dr. Dre screwed him over a bit, didn't he? Because he was going to do an album with Dr. Dre. I think around about the time that 8th letter come out. And
yeah,
he's known for like being really slow, like, and some artists get pissed off with it, like, and like King T did as well. But like,
yeah,
I think that's like Rakim spent like 18 months or whatever building up to this album, and then in the end it got scrapped or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just think because they dropped a single for it, didn't they? It was like an Indian tune with like the Indian woman in the video.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, who was the artist? It was a single, wasn't it?
Single, yeah, it's like an Indian type tune. Oh, buddy, but
yeah, Truth Hurts, I think it was called.
That's it, yeah. So if that album had come to fruition, he probably would have got a whole load of new fans as well, and then the new fans would have checked out the older stuff because Dre was in his prime at that time, like when he was doing that.
Yeah, I think
Dre chose to work with him, like, but
yeah, I was looking. I remember that. I was looking forward to that because that kind of would have modified his rapping style and brought it out to kind of more newer sort of audience, more kind of 90s. I mean, he was more of the 80s, wasn't he, Rakim?
That's why he's not in my list, because I missed him by a couple of years. I know he's amazing. When you listen to him flow, he's got one of them voices. But I just didn't grow up with it. You know what I mean? A lot of my tastes are based on what I grew up with, but I was a little bit late to the party.
Yeah, I like Rakim. I've heard a few of his songs, and all the ones you mentioned there, fantastic. Yeah, I totally get that. Great choice. My number 2, unfortunately, this guy only had a couple studio albums, but I love his music. A lot of his underground stuff I think is great as well. And again, this guy could really, really rap, and it is Notorious B.I.G. Yeah, I grew up listening to Notorious B.I.G. This is easily his best album. I do like his second album, Life After Death, but this one pisses all over that for me. Yeah. Things Don't Change is great. Give me a loot, give me a loot. Warning's great. Ready to Die.
Warning's awesome too.
But What as well is a really good one. Juicy.
The sexy R&B one as well, where he's all about the women ringing him up all the time.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Some good lyrics in that one.
Definitely. Juicy's a classic. Love that song. Yeah. Everyday Struggle's fantastic. A big popper as well. And Suicidal Fortunately Shot You. I mean, what an album this is. It's fantastic. Right. And he was a fantastic rapper. It's just a shame that he died so young because he could have produced so many more great albums. He really could. But yeah,
circumstances he died in as well, innit? You know what I mean?
yeah,
You know, he was like killed on purpose just to even things out, kind of thing. It was like, you know, we got rid of the one pain in the ass, now let's get rid of the other pain in the ass, and then, you know, we'll come back to life. They got to be government hits. There was a time when Tupac, especially Tupac, people in the West Coast were hanging on any word he said. He could have caused a war by just going on radio and saying, "That's it, we're going to go and fight the East Coast," and people would have just gone and just had big riots for no reason based over this guy, like in the songs. So I think they were government hits. I don't think Puff Daddy had anything to do with it. I think the police thought this could really get out of control if these two guys keep going. I just think they were both done by the government. I do, because there's like no investigations afterwards, was there, or anything really, like, you know. So
they were, they were friends, weren't they?
Yeah, they were friends. Yeah, they died within 6 months of each other as well. Like, that's the other weird thing. Like, you know, Pac died in the September, like, of like 96 or whatever it was. And then it was March 97. And it was it's just too many too many like coincidences for it to be just like random killings off the street, like, you know. So, but sorry to waffle.
No, that's true. Yeah. I agree with you. That it should have been really deeper investigation. Just kind of like hush hush now, isn't it? When they bring that up.
Well, I do think out of all the rappers who've lost their lives or don't make music anymore, if there's one artist who would be killing it now, it would be Biggie, because he had that persona, like everyone would want to work with him because he was like bear, and he had raps for days, didn't he? Let's be honest, like, and he's the one that would have been something. Tupac probably would have ended up being shot sooner or later anyway, but
I think Tupac's mouth kind of got the better of him in the end, but Biggie was supposed to be a kind of more nicer. I mean, he never really initiated the beef. It was more kind of Tupac.
He never said his name on a record either. They say "Who Shot You" is a Tupac diss, but you know, no one knows for sure. I don't say his name in it, like, so.
I mean that Tupac track, "Hit 'Em Up," as a diss record, it didn't do anything for me because there wasn't much that I thought was truthful and honest.
It was like more like a 15-year-old would make up in it, you know. I fucking I used to love it when I was younger. Don't get me wrong, but I've gone full circle on that.
He's within that video, the Outlaws. I mean, like, what the fuck did they do?
Yeah, who were they?
You know, they were like hangers on. They were like school kids in that video. And I'm thinking, what did they do after they released an album? But having them on there didn't really add anything.
No,
it didn't really carry any weight for me. So, you know, I know some people say that's one of the greatest rap disses. For me,
the problem is as well, it destroyed Death Row Records. Like, Dre wanted out after that. He didn't want to be a part of it. Snoop didn't want to be a part of it. They all left, like, and all Suge Knight was left with really was an aggressive Tupac, and the Outlaws, like you say, really, and they wanted enough. Like, Machiavelli was a good album, but after that, that was it. Then Death Row just crumbled. Like,
awesome, great stuff. Got Stephen Miles saying all I can say, thank God that mumble rap shit did the disappearing act. The first thing I heard was designer Timmy Turner, GJ Premier Mix. Has to be worst remix he has ever done. Yeah, mumble rap is fucking shit.
Mumble rap. What's the other one? Trap rap. I'm not really. I just like a West Coast sounding beat, and then just, you know, someone rapping, or an old school Wu-Tang heavy bass sound, like.
Yeah,
I agree, 100%.
I always went for, as much as I do like the West Coast sort of sound. I was always kind of more East Coast kind of boom bap sort of
New York boom bap. Yeah, that was a wicked scene, though, wasn't it? Especially in the 80s, like with all the break dancing in the streets and all that as well, like.
Definitely. Got Stephen Miles saying Big L and Big Punisher, two more rappers that sadly died too soon. Yeah, definitely 100% agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, they're great rappers, but then it's hard to really, you know, Big L, one album and another album, which was kind of like a remix put together album.
After he died on this, so the Big Picture. Big Pun, I got friends who really like Big Pun. Some of them do say he's an amazing rapper. They love the Capital Punishment album. And
I like that album.
There's a Terror Squad album with it together as a collective that's pretty good as well. So he is like you say, big pun, but he did only have the 2 albums really, and I don't know.
It's hard. It's hard to judge somebody and put them in. I mean, like I say, the only one I've put is Biggie, but that's only because those 2 albums that he did that were just phenomenal. They're like rap classics. Forget those kind of remix albums or albums that people just kind of.
Well, just Puff Daddy trying to make some coin after he died.
Them Tupac and Biggie albums that came out where they just got his lyrics and they put these beats on them. I dislike those albums because those artists.
This is produced by Eminem. This one,
that's what I mean.
Charity shop.
Just to make money.
The first 2, Soldier Like Me's alright, and then the rest of them are crap. Like, you know what I mean? So. Posthumous albums, I don't like them unless it's Machiavelli, where the album was near enough made before the person died anyway.
Yeah.
But otherwise, when they, like you say, when they just mix them in the studio, like just to make money off them, and it's all old verses that weren't good enough at the time. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely 100%. And yeah, well, it's time for number 1. What a live stream this has been. It's been fantastic, and it's absolutely fucking flown by as well. But Carlos, I'm gonna do the same, but you said you're gonna guess Bumpers number 1, and I will do the same after you've done it. So go on, Carlos. What is it? Do you think Bumpers number 1 album rapper is?
I actually guessed that Bumper would either pick either Nas or Tupac as his number 1.
Oh, wow.
You're both in there, so
yeah. They were the names that I had. Who did you think that Bumper would have? Scott?
Well, I think I'm going to go with Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G. That's what I'm going to guess Bumper's number 1.
Okay, Bumper. Let's have it.
Okay, so disclaimer, just to say, I said this before the stream, but didn't say it live on the stream, that I purposely left out Eminem. Like, I love Eminem. I grew up on his music when I was like 17, 18. I used to listen to him all the time. Like, he's my hero. He used to get me through all the tough times, breaking up with girls and whatever else. But I just left him out because I just wanted to go with black rappers. I didn't want to cloud the conversation and have this guy all the way up here with all these down here. So I left out Eminem on purpose. So yeah. So my favorite black rapper is, like Scotty says, even though he's only had 2 albums, my favorite thing in the world is when someone can paint an image in your head. And I know you said Life After Death is the Born to Die is the better album, but I think Life After Death is the better album because CD1, like, I don't like bigging up Puff Daddy because he don't deserve it, but his production on that, like all the raindrops in the background and the cracking, and I used to go in the gym. I used to be quite a big weightlifter for maybe 4 or 5 years, and I used to just put Biggie on, and I could have all these images in my head of all these gangsters, like I could make films in my head because that album, even though he's a black gangster rapper, it's got like an Italian gangster kind of vibe. He's very much Top Hat and the Cane and what's the one tune? I can't think what the one tune is, but you've got babies crying in the background where they're in a shootout in the street, and you can hear the bullets whistling by and all. Like, it's just phenomenal.
I can't remember what it's called myself.
Story to tell.
It might be a story to tell. It might be Ready to Die. Maybe is our song on there. I don't know. That's just the name of the first album. But like I say, it don't matter about the track names to me on that album because I listened to them all and they all got like a similar sound. They kind of like build on each other. One of them's called something Bleed. M-word Bleed as well. It might be that one. Yeah, I think it's that one. So yeah, and you just get an insight into his life. You don't know how much of it's real and how much is fictionalized, but he does talk a lot about his background, Biggie and all, like, and his parents or whatever. And he's like a rapper, but he's I find him like quite humanized as well. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense, but he could be like the boy next door to you kind of thing. He never come across as someone who thought he was a big superstar, probably because he didn't have time really. Like, I don't flash Gucci suit and all that, like, but he wasn't going to get women because of his looks, was he? He had to try and dress the part, I suppose. Like, so, But yeah, so my number 1, mate, like I said, his lyrical flow can't be beaten. It's been copied but never bettered all over the years. Shine, they used to say Shine sounded like him. They used to say,
yeah.
there was someone else who sounded like him, a fat black rapper from about 2010, Gorilla Black, I think his name was, something like that.
Yeah, that's right, Gorilla Black. Yeah.
But they just didn't have the lyrical content, like, or the talent or the
No.
production behind them. You know, they might be able to make one song where like, oh yeah, that sounds like Biggie, but that was it. You know, so yeah, my number one is just going to be Biggie Smalls. I know we haven't got the catalogue of the other rappers, and Tupac got like 10 studio albums and 10 films and this and that. But
I always preferred Biggie. I mean, he was phenomenal. I was absolutely I mean, Tupac, when he got taken away, I was kind of like, that's a shame, but he was making enemies for himself, where completely the opposite with Biggie. I mean, that really was a shocker, because I didn't think anyone had any dislike for him. That literally came out the blue. And yeah, people tried to say it was an East Coast, West Coast thing and all that bullshit. But, you know, Biggie, he wasn't getting involved in any beefs or anything, this and that.
No.
But that was a complete shocker for me. I mean, obviously, like I say, Tupac, he was the angry rapper in Interview, you know. I know Biggie would do that thing called the Mad Rapper, but that was a little bit, Tupac was kind of a little bit like that before he signed up with Dr. Dre. But yeah, I mean, like I say, you know, getting off topic here. I mean, Biggie, yeah, fantastic. Just a crying shame he got taken away too early, because I definitely visualized him performing with all the top artists out there, people like Michael Jackson and all people like that, and he probably would have crossed over. Probably similar.
He was silky on the R&B joints, wasn't he?
Yeah,
definitely would have crossed over.
I mean,
definitely.
like, you know, he was doing R&B tracks with 112 and Faith Evans, and you could listen to those tracks, and there's no doubt he probably would have got there with sort of, you know, renowned, more bigger artists in R&B, but I think he still would have kept it real, and because, you know, just who he was. And it's just a shame, just a real shame, because I definitely think there would have been a few more classic albums.
That's what I mean. With Tupac, you feel like you've got a career there to go through, don't you? You know what I mean? He's given you enough as a fan to last you, but Biggie, like, there's just that constant feeling of what could have been, which irks me to hell. Even it's been like 30 years or whatever since they died now, 25 years.
Yeah, wow.
It just irks me to this day of the music he could be making now with the production and the money and whatever else.
It'd be 30 years next year when we got shot Biggie Smalls,
I remember, like, it's yesterday, like I said, I remember seeing it on the news, going down my mate's house on my bike, you know, whatever. Puff Daddy bringing out the song with Faith Evans.
Yeah.
I remember buying the single when it came out.
Wow. I think it kicked a lot of people in the balls, like you're saying, because it wasn't expected. Like, it was like, oh, Pac's been shot. Oh, yeah, no surprises there. But with Biggie, it was just like, oh, God.
So
that's my number one, boys.
I got it right.
Yeah, you did.
Only on power of deduction, no? You wouldn't have said it from the beginning.
Well, true, yeah. Well, I would have probably gone Tupac or Biggie, to be fair. I'm not going to, but yeah.
Well, like I said, I didn't want to be different or edgy for no reason. My commercial...
you like who you like.
I listen to whatever, you know.
Okay, so my number one, Scotty. I think Scotty might know who my number one is.
I'll get that bumper say first if he wants to guess.
Well, I was going to say, I would have bet my house on it being Rakim. I got to be honest. Absolutely bet my house.
I think Scotty will know, because Scotty's been on the road with me on quite a few community meetups, and he knows how much I praise this artist. Because
has anybody mentioned it in the list so far? Has he been picked at all so far?
Scott's mentioned him, so go on, Scott. He's laughing. He knows.
It is KRS-One.
Yeah, KRS-One. Okay, then happy days.
I mean, Scott. Yeah, I mean, I have seen him twice. For me, he's the most complete MC out there. Phenomenal career. I mean, he's done 25 albums plus. Still doing. He's still releasing albums. Still touring. I loved him when he first came out. Boogie Down Productions with DJ Scott the Rock. Obviously, the Juice Crew rap battles with KRS-One, with BDP. This album, Criminal Minded.
Brilliant.
which he actually did sign this special edition album. Actually, when he was on stage, I wasn't quite close enough, and the guy in front of me passed the album, and he quickly signed it.
Nice.
Obviously done by all means necessary, which Scott the Rock, his DJ, got shot in a kind of in a bit of a territory sort of shootout over a rapper D Nice. So basically, after this album, KRS-One kind of went solo. Obviously, the return of the boom bap and other albums he's done. I mean, I think I must have at least 20 of his albums at least. Like I said, I've seen him 2 or 3 times. I think that was one of his last albums. I think his last album was The Temple of Hip Hop, which is actually an album you can only get online digitally.
Oh, wow.
But like, yeah, I mean, a lot of people would say, I mean, I think he's come up to 60 this year, and he still raps like a hungry MC. I mean, like I say, he's had rap battles with MC Shan, other artists, and I think when his career is kind of does come to an end, I think people are going to they're going to realise how good he is. I mean, a lot of people would just kind of only know him for the sound of the Police tunes like that, but I think he was far, far more worth in the hip hop culture. I mean, he's a big part of the hip hop culture. You know, he always says like hip hop culture is about graffiti, MCing, DJing, and all that. He's still part of the hip hop. He does lectures as well in life and hip hop. KRS-One, yeah. I mean, I would argue, till I'm blue in the face, that for me, he's the most complete MC out there. The catalogue's amazing. A lot of the time, some of his beats and the production hasn't been the best. I'd love to see him do an album with DJ Premier. Obviously, the return of the boom bap. There's a few DJ Premier tracks on there with production that they've done together. But for me, when you listen to his freestyle, like I say, I've seen him at the Jazz Cafe and in Oxford. He's literally just jumped off stages there and got in the mix of the crowd, and some guy's holding a mobile phone and he would just rap about a mobile phone and stuff like that, or someone's wearing a blue t-shirt. Freestyling is amazing. And for me, kind of a little bit undervalued, because people would sort of say, oh, well, he's really, really old school. He's really 80s and 90s. He's not really irrelevant. The thing with hip-hop that people got to realise now, I mean, hip-hop sales are always going to be sold in volumes from teens to late 20s. You're not going to get many albums being bought, from rap artists in their 40s and 50s, because it's just the way of the world is. So he's going to be a forgotten artist, and age shouldn't really be a barrier for hip hop, like it is in rock music. Rock music, you can get like the Stones. They could bring out an album, when they're in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and people would still listen to it, and they're still irrelevant. But it's just a shame that the younger generation of hip hop, when you throw out an LL Cool J or even Eminem or even Nas now, are considered sort of old school. But really kind of ancient hip hop. I mean, KRS-One even became sort of a little bit before their time. I mean, KRS-One and LL more or less the same sort of time, a few years in between. But like Nas and even Eminem, they're considered as old rappers, which is just unbelievable. It shouldn't really matter how old they are. It's whether they can still do it on the mic, and I think those guys can, and KRS-One definitely can. So yeah, KRS-One, undisputed. He's been my favourite number one artist, not for the fact that I grew up with him. He was just an artist that got better and better for me. Like I said, you just listen to a KRS-One track 2025 or even a couple of years ago, it still sounds fresh. A lot of the stuff he used to do with Boogie Down Productions, he used to have a thing, fresh for 86, you suckers. And then the
Yeah.
following year, he'd have a track. He'd always have an album every year or a track every year. And he'd always sort of say, fresh for 92, you suckers. And, you know, he never really skipped a beat for me. So, guys, if you're not really familiar with his albums, do check him out. KRS-One, my favourite MC, hip-hop artist and rap star.
Nice. Yeah. Can only agree with what you just said there, Carlos. Definitely. What a rapper.
I'll have to listen to
And
some more of his stuff. I gotta be honest. I'm definitely never one to sort of be hard nosed or refuse to listen to anything. So yeah, I'll get him on my Spotify and see it. Just get a KRS-One playlist on the go, like, and just see. But like I said, no stranger to him, and I like the good thing I like about KRS-One. Like I said, he hasn't changed. He's got an idea of hip hop in his head, and he's always stayed that way. You know, which is how it should be, really. But like you say, by not moving with the times, it may have cost him in record sales, but his real fans will be pleased because that's the sort of music they want, isn't it? You know what I mean? So I think sometimes you've got to make that choice, haven't you? Whether you sort of be loyal to your small amount of fans or you try and appeal to more. But if that fails, then you've lost a small amount of fans because you've gone commercial and you've messed up that way as well. So you should have maybe just stayed in your lane. But
I'll just say one thing. I mean, I think he did appear in the UK last year. I couldn't get to some of those gigs that he did, but I think 3 years ago, he was in Oxford, and I went with my brother. My brother's he's more of a reggae fan, but KRS-One did sort of have a few reggae tracks, and my brother was a bit of a hip hop fan. He didn't really want to come. He didn't really want to come to that gig in Oxford, but when he went, he realised how good he really was.
Yeah.
And my brother went away, and he was like, "Wow, that was a real hip hop show." Because I was worried it was going to be like 700 people. It was like 300 people, 400 people max. And he didn't go there for 40 minutes and just fuck off and took the money. He was there. He'd done the hits. He'd done new stuff. He'd done freestyles. He'd done a bit of everything. He got the crowd involved. Proper MC. He gets the crowd involved with his act rather than just an artist just sort of like going from left to right, say their raps, not involving the crowd, not interacting with them, and just clearing off with the money. My brother was really surprised. He knew that he was good, but he didn't realise how great he really was. And my brother was like, he was videoing a lot of the footage, and he was like, shit. He goes, he is really going on. He's going off. And I said, well, you know, he's got quite a few dates to do, and he's in his late 50s. And this is a guy who enjoys being a hip hop artist, being an MC, and being part of hip hop culture. A lot of artists, when they get to like late 30s, they're kind of going into movies, and some of them don't really ever come back. People like Ice-T and other artists like that, Slick Rick, they have like long spells away and stuff like that. Even though they did bring an album out, they're never really the same. But KRS-One had a consistency where he was always doing an album either every year or every other year. And, you know, when you Wikipedia all the stuff that he's done, amazing body of work.
Awesome stuff, Carlos. Yeah, can only agree with everything you said there. And top number one, I'm going to bring up one of the comments that was mentioned earlier because it is a really good question. I won't go through all of them, sorry, Stacey, but I will definitely bring up this one. Thoughts on Iron Man by Ghostface to the top 20 album of all time for rap, in her opinion? In all honesty, I haven't listened to it all the way through, so I can't say. What about yourself, Bumper?
Oh, sorry, just a bit of background noise. Then. Yeah, I think Iron Man's a good album. If it's the one I think it is. Is that the one? Is that the one that's got bulletproof wallets on? And there's a song he does is a bit R&B where he's rapping in a chord, and I think the lyrics about him like losing everything to his missus in a chord because he always wears that big bloody golden eagle thing on his arm, doesn't he? And I think it was quite prominent in that video. Like, so if Iron Man is the one album I'm thinking of, it is a pretty decent album. If it's the one with bulletproof wallets on, that's good with Method Man. But like I said earlier, most people think Supreme Clientele is his best album. So
Awesome stuff, Bumper. Glad you enjoyed it. What about yourself, Carlos?
Ghostface Killer, I never, like I say, I mean, I had my favourites from the Wu-Tang, like I mentioned, and maybe I do need to kind of go back and check some of his albums out. Like I said, I mean, Method Man was the one that I originally liked from when they first came out, but and ODB, but I kind of
Nice.
listened more to what Raekwon was doing. I kind of like that first album that he did. His new album, which he dropped last year, or was it early? Yeah, last year was supposed to be really, really good. I still need to check that one out. So they were kind of like the kind of the top members for the Wu-Tang Clan for me. Maybe I overlooked Ghostface Killer and some of the others.
Well, I mean, RZA, obviously, he done the Bobby
RZA.
Digital album, which was all right, but RZA's a bit of an acquired taste. He's more of a beats
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I
You
wasn't
God
really a
is the
fan
other
of
one,
him.
and You God and Master Killer, I think, are the other main
Master
ones.
Killer, yeah. I wasn't really a fan of them. So
No.
maybe I tarred Ghostface Killer. I don't know. I mean, I heard a couple of his tracks and his look. It just didn't really sell it for me.
The
But,
thing is, with that era Wu-Tang, there's a lot of music to get into. So, like you say, you gravitate to
yeah,
the ones
Yeah.
you liked, and you didn't bother with the others because it's just too much to get into. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
So, if you try to listen to every Wu-Tang collaboration, you
bloody hell, there were so many members. I mean, like
Yeah.
I couldn't count.
Yeah, exactly. So
So
there's a lot of
many.
stuff to delve into. So, like, say you took the one, maybe you didn't take to the other. Doesn't mean they weren't a great MC. It's just
Yeah, 100% agree with that. But if
Well,
you
that's
guys
right.
want to guess the top one for me, go on, Bumper.
I'll do a similar thing that you done. Use a process of elimination with your other ones, and I'll say you've gone with Tupac as number one. But you don't strike me as a bad Tupac fan, mine. So I don't know, but I'll say Tupac.
Okay.
I had Scotty as Eminem because I know he loves that second album.
Well,
Eminem, no, I know.
I have, yeah. So, yeah, you might Bumper, it's Tupac.
Oh, Thug Life vinyl. Look at that. Here's me with my crack CD that I bought from Music Magpie. And here's you with your flashy bunny vinyl. I was the one
Collector's
buying it on
edition.
the day it was out. Not 40 years later.
That's right, I've got a CD of it as well, so take that.
Oh, well, I'm
But
glad you're
yeah.
a Tupac fan.
Yeah, I've been a massive Tupac fan since I was about 4 or 5, and it's never changed, to be honest. Always been number one for me. I just love his style of rapping. His voice sounds great. I love his rhymes. Yeah, sure, some of it can be aggressive, but I like the aggressive attitude in his songs. I really do. But he can write a good, smooth, nice song as well. He has done quite a few of those, like Dear Mama, which is quite emotional. That's a great slow song. Brenda's Got a Baby as well. That's a great song.
The one with Janet Jackson's good on All Eyes on Me. Is it called Life Goes On?
That's a great song, yeah. Life Goes On. Love that one.
That's Janet Jackson in the background of that. I don't think she's credited on the album because he's good friends with Janet Jackson, Tupac, like back in the day. They were in Poetic Justice together and whatever, like. So.
Yeah, love that film. That's a great film. I love him as an actor as well. Always have done, and he's been in some great films.
He was phenomenal. He was phenomenal in Juice, and I think he could have developed into a really good actor.
Yeah, definitely.
He walked out on Menace to Society. There's footage you can see, like where he's acting, and then he has a fallout with the director, and so he didn't end up being in Menace to Society, even though he shot some scenes. But
yeah,
you know.
But Tupac's one of those artists for me. Where I like pretty much most of his songs. There isn't many songs that I dislike. I love all of his albums before and after his passing.
Yeah.
But every album for me.
Have you got any other vinyls there?
Not on me, but I do have all of his albums before his passing. I think on vinyl, which is pretty cool.
Have you got the Strictly for My?
Yeah, I've got that one. Yeah.
Vinyl.
Yeah.
Wow, I love the tune on there. Ice Cube, Ice T, and Tupac. I can't think what it's called. Last words. Have you got any last words? Yeah, I got some last words.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah,
all of you as well.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's send me a picture of those. I wouldn't mind seeing those.
Definitely All Eyes on Me.
Oh yeah,
have you got All Eyes on Me on vinyl, Scott? Wasn't that a special edition?
I don't think I've got if I got a special edition. I've got it on vinyl. I can't remember if it's a special edition or not. It's a obviously double, like
Yeah,
4
double. It was a
albums.
double
It's
album, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I
awesome.
mean that was easy my favourite album of his. I mean that was a phenomenal album.
Yeah.
Really, yeah, that was a good album.
Definitely, that's his peak. I do like Machiavelli though because it's very aggressive, and I'm quite into
Machiavelli's
aggressive.
great.
I didn't mind that. Yeah. Yeah.
He sounds a bit different on Machiavelli. Like, you know, you're wondering if it is Tupac when it first came out because it wasn't really advertised as a Tupac album. It just sort of come out from nowhere. It's only because my local record store actually put a poster saying this is Tupac.
He went at Dr. Dre on that one, and that track "Toss It Up," didn't he?
Toss It Up, yeah.
Toss It Up, that's a good song.
Everyone's got a Dr. Dre album at some point in their career. Too much like, but yeah, no, he did, and he didn't have a lot of people in his corner though. Tupac at that point, kind of everyone had fallen off. He only had Casey and JoJo really, and they were R&B singers. Do you know what I mean? So he didn't have a lot of power in the background. So Dre body just thought, whatever.
Yeah.
I decided to show one that I've always enjoyed with Thug Life. Underrated album, I think, actually.
Yeah, there's not a skippable tune on there. Some of the rappers, I can't think of all their names now. Some of them are a bit of an acquired taste, but you know, like a big what's his name? Big Psych, that's it. He's one of my favorites, but he's got like a really gruffly voice, hasn't he? Like, So I love Big Psych. Yeah, he does some awesome features on All Eyes on Me. Yeah,
100%. Don't get it twisted. I love Pour Out a Little Liquor, which was from Above the Rim, if I remember correctly.
That was a soundtrack I couldn't think of. That was a wicked soundtrack. Above the Rim, Pain by Tupac. So Much Pain. What a song that is.
Oh, yeah. Great song.
That could be the answer to that girl's question earlier, that one of them.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
also,
So Much Pain.
Under Pressure's a bang on here, and Cradle to Graves. Yeah, love Tupac, always will be the number one for me, and that will never change probably. Love his music so much.
Oh, there we are then. I take back everything I thought about your musical taste, Scotty. I really thought you was the old school rocker like Nige.
Yeah, but
no, you like it. Everyone's entitled to like different genres, but now I know you're mad for the rap. Happy days.
Yeah, definitely. Always been a big hip hop guy as well. Hip hop before metal for me, actually. I only got into metal probably a few years ago properly, but yeah, now I'm.
I don't really class bands like Iron Maiden as metal. I class them as rock metal, like Korn and Marilyn Manson and Biohazard, Incubus, things like that. You know, I know people call it new metal, but that's metal to me. Like the other stuff, I just feel it's more like rock in it, like, you know what I mean? But although Noise Body might have something to say about that.
Oh, would he?
Yeah.
But they do say it's the white man's rap music, don't they? A lot of people, they do love rock in the same way that we love rap. Do you know what I mean? They grew up with it.
Yeah, there is a little resemblances there.
So yeah, it's definitely a similar kind of sketch.
Yeah, definitely. Stephen Miles saying, I've noticed that a lot of artists are not releasing their albums on CD, just digital only, which is a shame. Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Yeah, that hurts my collection.
Yeah.
CDs.
My biggest issue with modern day music now is because there's no MTV, because I don't like get the Source magazine every month. I just don't know what's coming out. Like, I'll have to hear it on a grapevine, like you say there's a new Nas album out. I didn't even know that, you know what I mean? Or a new Rakim album out, you know, it's only an EP with 8 tracks on. I just didn't know. I just don't know about them like anymore.
Yeah, it's a shame, to be fair, definitely. I went through saying Nigel, everyone loves Nigel, what's the guy?
Rock God, he loves it, doesn't he? Fair news.
Indeed, but yeah, that is the end of the stream. It's been fucking hell, 3 hours, 8 minutes.
Bloody shit. Bloody hell. I'm busting for a piss.
Yeah.
I'm busting for a piss. I tried not to drink too much water.
Yeah. But, you guys enjoyed it?
Oh, I loved it, mate. I haven't talked about rap like that for a long time.
There'll be a few varied sort of choices, and you know, it was good trying to get. I mean, I knew Scott was going to guess who mine was. I mean, obviously, I thought Scott would have Tupac in there. I knew he was going to have Biggie in there as well, but I really thought I was pretty sure it was going to be Eminem. I mean, for Craig, I thought it was going to be. I was a bit surprised. I thought, because I'm pretty sure I had a conversation with Bumper before saying he was a bit of a fan of Cool G Rap, and I thought he might have him sneaking in that top 10. But
I only really like the one song of Cool G Rap, On the Run, but I do listen to that song a lot.
yeah,
But he might have got a mention if the stream had gone on long enough. But Ill Street Blues, that was the album I used to have. Ill Street Blues, that was a good one by
I always like his album 456.
Yeah,
that was my favourite one that he did. That was like a real street sort of rap album, that one. But like I say, I mean, other names, Big L, a lot of people throw him in the hat, but it's hard for me to really rate him off that one album. And he's done quite a lot of freestyles on YouTube.
I got this Game album not so long ago, like it was like a double album, and I thought, oh, the Game's taking it old school doing a double album. And I've listened to this, and I tell you what, there's not one track on here you can listen to. I've skipped through it many times thinking I'm probably not giving it time. Every song is crap. And that's a double CD as well. Like it's got like, I don't know, 40 songs on there. They're all bunk. There's not one that I can listen to.
Yeah.
But then these are I like Run the Jewels. I bought all their albums. Like you listen to Run the Jewels. They're pretty cool. Like the alternative, like Killer Mike, he's a good MC, fair dues.
Yeah, there's a few rappers that did get mentioned. I really like stuff like Helter Skelter and Smith and Wesson, like Tech and Steel, Sean Price, and all that sort of stuff as well.
Sean Price, yeah.
We should do one on best albums, because even though I just
we'll do that one.
10 rappers, albums would be quite different. It would be other MCs, other rappers, because some albums, like I say, there's a lot of one album wonders.
Yeah, definitely top 10 albums.
Yeah, that could be a possibility.
We'll do that.
For sure. Yeah.
But it's been fantastic. However, we saying bye, everyone. Take care and all very best. Thanks, Scott, Bumper, and Carl. All the best. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that.
Cheers.
And thank you to everyone who watched and put comments in. It's been an absolute blast. Really glad you all enjoyed. And of course, thank you to you guys for joining me. It's been a fantastic stream.
Anytime, mate. Anytime.
Cheers, Scott.
No worries. Stephen Moles has put another one in. Lord Finesse is a good artist. Don't know much of his music,
Lord
but I do like
Finesse.
what he did.
Return of the Funky Man.
Yeah. Lots of rappers, so many to mention. But yeah, we
didn't even start on British MCs, did we, really? Like Rodney P and Kalashnikov and whatever, like. But
I think the greatest hip-hop albums would be a good one. I think that would be a good
one.
Yeah, albums,
And there'll be a few albums that make it, that obviously did make a top 10 favourite rappers. So yeah, it'd be fun.
Definitely will be.
But yeah, with all that being said, I hope you enjoyed, and see you later, everyone. Bye. Thank you for joining.
Take care.
See you
Cheers,
later, everyone.
guys.
Thank you, everyone.